死んだは初めて俺に伝えている。
絶望を飲み終えた。
面白いこと見せようか。ほら、こんなに家賃が多すぎて。
お父さん。
あかん。
ドナルド君はまだ死ぬ時じゃないでしょ。
アメリカ万歳。ファイト。
絶対負けないよ。
ランドトライドまで。
ゼロ。だってまだサンキュー言ってないでしょ。一回も言ってください。
おい、仲良くしてね。この世界季節にいけるかな。昔グレートだった大きにまたグレートになるかな。あのさ、有名人なら誰かのマンコを掴んでいいさ。そう言い放せるで。
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of the 199, and I wish we had something to talk about. I wish there was some news going on. Oh, that's right. There's a few things to talk about, and I mean, you see it right here on the screen. So President Trump is leaving the G7 summit early, and he is heading back to the White House. He has called for his National Security Council to be at the White House Situation Room when he arrives. That'll be around 2 or 3 a.m. at the earliest. A lot going on. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into all of it momentarily. And I just have to say, like, being on Twitter the last couple of days, it has been a complete shit show of information out there. And people react to every single bit of information that they see, and then another piece of information comes out and they completely flip their opinion, and then another piece of information comes out and they completely flip their opinion. It has been wild. As you've noticed, I've been just paying attention to all of it to try to see how this is all going to play out. And I have some opinions, some pretty strong opinions on many topics. But first, I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. Thank you for being here. Giggles and Bits says Trump left G7 early on his way back to DC. Absolutely. Mad Max says, Jeremy, after watching that drive-through video, I worry about Ryan. Golden Nugget says, nearly choked, so I thought about Alina Hama, and it helped me get the rest out. Jeremy Straight, and says, I take this stuff so seriously, just miss trolling you. What's up, brother? Good to see you. AJ says, been loving the awesome content. Take my money. Thank you. Babo Yogi says, longtime listener, first-time caller. Damn, you really suck at this. Why am I here? MLM. AOE2 Freak says, hail Jeremy and the chatter. D-Day Cronkite and the chat. What's going on? All right. So, first of all, if I didn't go live yesterday because I was spending time with family, but happy late Father's Day to all of you. If you celebrated, I hope everyone did. I know there's a lot of people that were there for King's Day that don't have dads to celebrate, because they grew up in fatherless homes. But I do think a mother and a father in a home is the most powerful element that a child can have in their childhood. A mother and a father. I know it's a crazy idea, but hey, happy Father's Day out there to all the awesome fathers. And we're gonna talk about all of this. It's a moving situation right now. Let's go ahead and start out. So there's been a lot of stuff happening, and a lot of stuff that's been reported, and half of it, hell, not even half. I would say 75% of the bullshit that I've seen on Twitter, it's just been lies and a lot of bullshit. And then people will respond to all of that. And it just has created a shit show of a discussion, which is why it's been almost pointless to get into any of those discussions. Now, one tweet in particular right here. Maze put this tweet up right here. On a proper site, none of this content would be monetized. So you have this tweet Reports in Israel say the United States military is now making preparations to join Israel's war in Iran, blah, 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 blah. Then you have another one. U.S. tells allies it will not join war unless Iran targets Americans. This is the type of stuff we've been getting nonstop for the past several days. One thing says that this is happening, and then the other thing says this is happening, and no one actually knows what the hell is happening. No one has an idea of what's happening. Everything has been complete bullshit. So if you go over to this report right here, is this true? I mean, this is what they're saying. All I know is I will look at President Trump's True Social account, and I'll take my cues from that. And he sent quite a few tweets out recently that have been eye-opening, to say the least. Now, with that said, we also were getting stuff like this. Like, this is right before everything has been happening, the latest reports. Right before that, we were getting stuff like, where is it at? Right here. We were getting this. This was only a few hours ago. We got a tweet like this. Trump administration tells allies it will not get involved in war against Iran unless Iran attacks Americans. This report comes out as rumors are spreading that Trump greenlit U.S. joining the campaign against Iran. It's crazy. It's all over the place. Now, my take on this is everyone is emotionally reacting to every piece of news that's out there. Have we forgot who we're dealing with? I mean, seriously, have we forgot who we're dealing with? We're dealing with Donald Trump. He is a deal maker. Everything that he's saying, I don't think you can take it like literally. I think that he is openly negotiating right now. Everything he's saying is meant to push negotiations to the limit with Iran because of what he wants. Now, everybody reacts to every piece of news and like, oh my God, Trump's doing it, Trump's doing it, Trump's doing it. And it's like, this is what he does. He talks shit so much to get what he wants. Like, seriously, if he decided that he was going to bomb Iran, it's over. Iran's done. So listening to his language, because he keeps saying, we want to get a deal, we want to get a deal, we want to get a deal. One of the things that's complicating this matter, and I now decided I know enough about this person to properly name them what I believe they are. And that would be Israel's Prime Minister, Netanyahu. Netanyahu is the mall kiosk guy of world leaders. That's who he is. He's the mall kiosk guy. I can't stand this dude. I can't stand to listen to this man talk. I fucking can't stand this dude. Like, you know, like you're walking through the mall and that creepy mall kiosk guy makes eye contact with you and you're like, oh, fuck. He's locked on to me. And it's like a force field. That is who Netanyahu is. He says, today it's Tel Aviv, tomorrow it's New York. Why are you trying to scare Americans into your war that you started? You started. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not an expert on the situation, but correct me if I'm wrong, chat. What is the first language? What is the primary language in Israel? Please tell me that. What is the primary language? Waiting for the chat to catch up on that. So, it's Hebrew, right? Hebrew. Okay. Why is this guy constantly talking directly to Americans about his war? Why? He's constantly talking to Americans about his war. He's constantly trying to sell Americans on his war. Why? It's crazy. It comes off as the mall kiosk guy of world leaders. I don't like him. I don't trust him. And I feel like he is trying to manipulate President Trump. I hope President Trump is not getting caught up in this, but I don't know the answer to that. I have no idea if Trump, I feel like at this point in time, Trump is posturing because regardless of what Netanyahu is doing, let's not forget that President Trump, along with campaigning on no wars and all of these other things, he did also campaign on he doesn't want Iran to have nuclear weapons. He did campaign on that. That is a thing. I can pull up a clip right here. That's getting lost in translation with all the other people that hated Trump back in 2020 and then became fake Trump supporters in 2024 because it was part of the bandwagon, because Elon and Joe Rogan jumped on the bandwagon, and now they're all turning on Trump again, you know. But is this it right here? I believe this is the clip right here. Here we go.
They asked him, what do you think about Iran? Would you hit Iran? And he goes, as long as they don't hit the nuclear stuff. That's the thing you want to hit, right? I said, I think he's got that one wrong. Isn't that the one you're supposed to hit? I mean, it's the biggest risk we have. Nuclear weapons, the power of nuclear weapons, the power of weaponry.
You see, this is the retardation, okay? This guy says, okay, this guy's an Israel hater. I'm out of here. You are a fucking retard, okay? You are about as emotionally weak as Dave Smith is, okay? You're not getting 100% of your opinions right now, and therefore you're crying to me, all right? And then I have you telling me to stop defending Trump. Have you ever watched the show? What the fuck do you think is going to happen? Marilyn Manson lookalike? The fuck do you think is going to happen here? This isn't an emotionally unstable show, okay? I don't respond because a guy that I support does one thing that I disagree with, okay? Jesus. I'm looking at this situation for what it is. I don't care what everybody else is saying. I don't care what the trendy thing is. I don't care. All right. My stance on it is that I believe Trump is negotiating. I think he's posturing. I think that he's doing everything he can to get what he wants. I think Netanyahu is a mall kiosk salesman. I think he's creepy and I don't trust him. I've said many times, I am not anti-Israel. I'm not pro-Israel. I don't give a fuck about Israel. That's me. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is United States of America. I've never been to Israel. I'm never going to go to Israel. I have nothing against Israel as a place, a country, whatever. I don't care. I'm not going to pretend that I care enough to have a strong opinion because I don't. Now, there's a portion of people that want me to be anti-Israel. And the more that they ask me to be anti-Israel, the less I'm going to ever be anti-Israel, because the people that are anti-Israel tell me everybody's bought and paid for. And then when I don't have an opinion that they don't like, they accuse me of being bought and paid for. Well, I'm not bought and paid for by anyone but the chat. So I am bought and paid for because the chat, but no one else. Now, if you accuse me of being paid for, why would I listen to you telling me anybody else is paid for by it? I know people are bought and paid for by this bullshit. Netanyahu had a fucking meeting with Tim Pool and a bunch of other podcasters not too long ago to try to manipulate them. And the fact that somebody like Tim Pool took that meeting speaks volumes about Tim Pool. If you were to tell me that a world leader wanted to meet me, a fucking podcaster, that would raise massive red flags. A world leader of another country wants to have a meeting with a podcaster from America? That is some wild shit right there. So there is some relevancy and some legitimacy to those criticisms, but you lose me when you go overboard with it. It's just like anything else. When these leftists are out there screaming about everyone being a racist, if everyone's a racist, then no one's a racist. If everyone is paid by Israel, then nobody's paid by Israel. Calm the fuck down. Stop being emotionally unstable. Make some solid points and be a man about it when you're making it. But when you're constantly flipping and flopping and lashing out like an emotionally unstable weirdo, nobody's going to take you seriously. It's that simple. Social media has destroyed so many people that they can't even logically think for themselves anymore. They're just waiting for the next tweet so that they can react emotionally. And it's crazy to me. It's like, calm down, okay? At the end of the day, I saw Dave Smith put out he said that Trump needs to be impeached. Trump needs to be impeached. Now, this is a guy who went from Donald Trump should be put in prison for the rest of his lives because he's a war criminal, to then, because I guess Joe Rogan and Elon Musk supported Trump, then he's like, I think I'm going to vote for this Trump guy. And it's like, you said he's a war criminal, but now you're voting for him. He voted for Trump. And now here we are a few months later, and Dave Smith says, I'm sorry that I voted for Trump and he should be impeached because of this thing that he hasn't done yet, but I think he's going to do. It is wild. It is. And again, this is why I say, like, the libertarian mindset, they are the gender confused weirdos of politics. Like, they can't figure out what they want to be, so they need to make up something new, a new name that they can feel like they're part of a club. And that's what it is. Like, well, we're libertarians. We have principles. What are your principles? To support a man that you said should be a war criminal? Then you voted for him. Now you say he should be impeached. What are principled about that, by the way? I know if there was someone that I thought was a war criminal, that I would not vote for them under any circumstance whatsoever. If I thought someone was a fucking war criminal that needed to be in jail for the rest of their life, I wouldn't go, I guess I need to vote for him, though, because my good buddy Joe Rogan told me to vote for him. So I got to vote for him. It's weird. So, yeah, there's been a lot of that all over the place, and it has been wild. Now, so we're obviously monitoring the situation, but I'm going to be honest with you, man. I don't even know if I believe the sources that I normally follow. Like, I think this Nick Sortor, whatever it is. I think he's a really good source of information. I think that, like, Colin Rugg and all of that, but, like, these guys have been putting shit out from Axios. When did we just start believing Axios all of a sudden? Like, the information has been an overload of information. Now, a lot of people accuse the Israeli media of being very manipulative and putting out a lot of information to try to push public discourse in the West the way that they want it. And I look at what I've seen, because I don't believe what other people say. I believe what I see. And the amount of bad information that I have seen in the last 48 hours has been astronomical. It has been astronomical. It really has. And so when you say that the Israeli media might be putting out bad information, I don't believe you because you're telling me. I believe it because I'm starting to see it actually happening. Now, we have this just in. China has now urged its citizens to leave Israel immediately, saying the security situation has worsened. Now, China, I believe, based on the information that we have received, somebody said Jeremy is waking up. Don't worry. If you're the type of person that thinks that I'm just now waking up, I promise you in 5 minutes, I'll say something that will make you think that I'm falling back asleep or I'm paid by someone else. So trust me, if you're at a point where you think I'm just now waking up, trust me, you will be disappointed in 5 minutes, because I promise you I'll have another opinion that will make you emotionally unstable. Do not get your hopes up because I say one thing that you agree with, because in 5 minutes, I'm going to say something that you don't like and you'll be back to thinking I'm the bad guy, okay? I don't like emotionally unstable people. I like people that can go, I don't really like, for instance, Tucker Carlson right now. I've always liked Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is currently criticizing President Trump like crazy. President Trump has now criticized Tucker Carlson. What do I think about Tucker Carlson? I like Tucker Carlson a lot. And President Trump's opinion of Tucker Carlson doesn't change that for me. Tucker Carlson's opinion of President Trump doesn't change my opinion of Tucker Carlson, because Tucker Carlson, I agree with him on like 90% of issues. I don't need me to cry because Tucker Carlson said something I don't like. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh my God, he has a different opinion than me. No, I love Tucker Carlson, and we need Tucker Carlson to be Tucker Carlson. And the reason we've always liked Tucker is because he's told it like it was. So I stand with Tucker Carlson 100%. And if you actually listen, like if you get past all the bullshit, Tucker actually is almost spot on with what he said. Let's play what Tucker Carlson said, as a matter of fact. Let me find this clip. So he was on with Steve Bannon, and he had really good, valid points right here. How are you, like, here's what's going on, okay? And I love Donald Trump. Donald Trump reacts to what's right in front of him sometimes. So they just asked him about Tucker Carlson, and he kind of took like some pot shots at Tucker, and then he went on True Social, and he's like, kooky Tucker Carlson, Iran can't have a nuke or whatever. How can you listen to this right here and not like Tucker? Listen.
And the incentives to pull the U.S. in are so profound. I guess if I could just say one political thing, the watching Donald Trump, who of course you know very well, who I think at core is sincere about peace.
Big time.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. I mean, that's real. Watching him done so wrong, the lies. Oh, he knew all along. You know, the peace process was fake. Steve Witkoff was playing along. That is a lie. That's a lie. I know. That's a lie. Those guys meant it.
Bald-faced lie.
It's a total lie. And all these people that Mark Levin and all of the minions who are running cover for a foreign government, they're all telling that same lie.
Mark Levin's a piece of shit, by the way.
I feel for President Trump, and I think, I don't know this, I'm just guessing, but at this point, I feel like he just has to kind of roll with it.
Look at this.
What do you say?
Hang on.
You don't want to get in an argument about that.
What did I just say? What did I just say? Look at this. White House denies Israeli news reports that the U.S. is attacking Iran. This is not true. American forces are maintaining their defensive posture, and that has not changed. We will defend American interest. This is what I'm talking about, dude. The information has been fucking insane lately. Absolutely insane. The lies and the manipulation has been off the chart. Let's go back to Tucker.
That right in the middle of a war.
No, I think he reiterated last night that we got to get back to the peace part. They got to lay down
But
the
they're
guns.
lying about him. He sincerely, even now, he sincerely believes, whether he's right or not, I can't say, but that this could be a predicate to a peace deal, what we're seeing now. He really thinks that and wants that, and the other side is just like, no, a peace deal is immoral.
It's the other side, but the other side also has the apparatus here. This is what happened
in
Ukraine,
the U.S.
when Ukraine attacked.
Yes.
When Ukraine attacked, we still haven't asked Ratcliffe, was the CIA involved? That there's zero probability Ukraine could attack that deep into Russia without some involvement. Here, the exact same thing. Why was Tulsi Gabbard not invited to the Camp David meeting all day?
You know why?
Why Tulsi Gabbard still to the American public has said the last public statement is that the program was not back up and running. And now we have from Bibi by himself on Fox by Brent Baer that the thing was 12 to 13 months away. It wasn't this weekend.
I know.
And this is by his own thing. And we also know that
I don't think Tucker is doing anything out of line. I think Tucker is having a very level-headed conversation with Steve Bannon here. And I don't think, now again, there might be some other comments out there that I haven't seen, but I've seen quite a few of the comments made on here. And I don't think that Tucker is stabbing Trump in the back. I think he's questioning what he's seeing right now. And I think that he has every right to do that. I have no problem with what Tucker's doing.
it was a decapitation, as we said on Friday. It wasn't just about the nuclear program. It's a decapitation of total leadership. So this is a total regime change, which, by the way, you may have a plan for regime change, is fine, but you got to bring the American people along. Let me go back.
By the way, I said that publicly last week. This is the point of this is regime change. I know everyone involved. I know I'm telling the truth. I have no weird motive here at all. I don't hate Israel. I'm not
Plus,
particularly.
you know the players, and you
I
went
know
and
the
you,
players
and you were, and
personally.
you know the Iraq situation.
This isn't a regime change effort, and why not just say that? But oh, you're a Holocaust denier for saying that. Well, stop. Let's have a rational conversation about what our aims are here. And maybe you can convince me that we need to support a regime change war in Iran. Tell me how that plays out in a country of 90 million people. Have you thought it through? Do you even care? And the answer is no. We have a economic and political and demographic crisis in Europe because of U.S.-backed, Israel-backed
Syria
wars in the Middle East.
Yeah.
That's what's destroyed Europe, where my ancestors came from. And I spend a lot of time there, and I love European culture, which is Christian culture. And it's destroyed that. And, shut up, you're not allowed to care. Who's making the rules here?
This is not a terrible discussion that Tucker's having. There's a lot of headlines that are trying to make it look like Tucker Carlson turns his back on President Trump. It's like Tucker Carlson is asking the right questions. He's asking the right questions. He brought up how George W. Bush, which I do disagree with him, but he did know President George W. Bush very well. And he basically claimed that George W. Bush had a lot of good intentions and that were going to benefit America, yada, yada, yada. And ultimately he got pulled into the Gulf War. I believe that George W. Bush built his entire administration because he was going to go to war with Iraq. And I believe he built everything to appease Halliburton and a few other companies that had no bid war contracts and everything like that. But his argument was that President Trump doesn't need to get pulled into a Middle Eastern conflict because it can take his focus away from what he needs to do here in America. I don't think that's a bad take. And all I could do is look at the situation for what is right in front of me. And when I hear the Prime Minister of Israel speaking directly to the American people about the conflict that he started, trying to convince us that we need to support him, and then using scare tactics like they could attack New York. No, they're not going to attack us. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? The United, if anybody dares to even think about coming after us on our land, come on. We know what would happen. We know what would happen. I mean, come on. So yeah, when he says that is I don't like that. I don't like it at all, man. It feels very much manipulative, and it just, that's what's bothered me more than anything. Now, the other thing too is, like, bottom line is there's a lot of people that are, again, emotionally unstable, people that only listen to one news source and they don't get the full picture. So then when they hear something, they think, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Blah, 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 blah. So like right here, first, let's listen to what Dave Smith says. All right. So this is Dave Smith, big libertarian dude, friend of Joe Rogan, previously said that Donald Trump is a war criminal and should spend the rest of his life in prison. He went from Donald Trump is a war criminal that should spend the rest of his life in prison to I'm going to support Donald Trump and I'm going to vote for him, to now he says this right here.
It was in 2007 that the Pentagon told George W. Bush that we cannot go to war with Iran because we do not have escalation dominance against them, essentially meaning that they can hit all of our bases and embassies in the region, and we are very vulnerable to them. And we've already seen demonstrated since the Israeli attack that the Iranian, the missiles that they sent last year toward Israel, as many of us guessed, that wasn't really their best. They were intentionally making an attack that wouldn't really hurt anybody, that wouldn't really lead to a war, which Iran has done over and over again. But now we've pushed them to the point where they probably don't feel that they have the option not to respond. And Donald Trump telling them to come back to the negotiating table now is a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, what a impotent leader to be sitting there talking about coming back to the negotiating table. It's like sitting after Pearl Harbor and telling FDR, now's the time to go negotiate with the Japanese.
Right.
Negotiations are over now. The time for negotiations was before this. And so
they were negotiating. They were negotiating. Trump gave them 60 days. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Donald Trump, listen, man, I supported him this last year. I apologize for doing so. It was a bad calculation. At the time, it seemed like the right one. But he should be impeached and removed for this one. Wow. And not on some like not on some ridiculous Nancy Pelosi. Of course, the Congress will never do it because they're all a bunch of, corrupt hacks.
This is the one thing they support. This is like yeah.
Donald Trump should be impeached and removed for this. All of his supporters should turn on him. It's the absolute betrayal of everything that he ran and campaigned on and everything that he stood for. And I will say, despite the fact that, Donald Trump supporters have been labeled like a cult following, and that certainly is true for a percentage of his supporters, he is going to lose his coalition over this. I know I don't just speak for myself when I say there are a lot of us who simply will not go along with this. So it's just a devastating mistake. By the way, on top of that, he's also going to lose the deportation fight because of this, because right now he needed all the political capital he could have to turn that, you got a majority support for deportations, but the minority is very mobilized and they're out and they're protesting all around the country. He needed all of his political capital for that move. So here's what we got. The neocons win. More war abroad and, bomb the world and invite the world. No matter who you vote for, you always get John McCain.
So no matter who you vote for, you always get John McCain, is a classic libertarian saying. And ultimately, what this comes down to is that will be clipped, and that's going to be, his name is Comic Dave Smith, and that will be the greatest comedic effort that he has given us. My goodness, man. Now, what's funny is right here. I love this. Black Conservative Perspective says, so I'm trying to figure out why all these anti-Zionists voted for the most pro-Israel president in our lifetime and are now shocked that he's pro-Israel. Fascinating stuff. What part of Donald Trump's election did you not think that he was? Of course, he's a pro-Israel guy. He's never said otherwise. Who are you listening to? Holy shit. But the bottom line is like, how do you go from he's a war criminal that should be arrested to I'm voting for him to he should be impeached and pulled from office? Who are you going to put in his place? It's wild. It makes no sense. But again, this is the emotional reaction that we're getting across social media right now, because people listen to people that they think agree with them, but they're not telling you the whole story. They're just not telling you the whole story, and that's fine. Emotionally unstable people always act out and do that. The best thing to do right now is to, if you voted for Trump, some of you didn't, and that's totally fine. You can fucking hate him forever and a day. That's fine. But if you voted for Trump, the best thing to do right now is to be patient and see what happens here. Because I don't know what's going to happen. And I doubt you know. And I doubt very many people know. And if we've looked at Twitter today, it's been pretty obvious that no one really knows what's happening. I think personally, and this is just my opinion based on the situation, based on what we're seeing, I believe Donald Trump is negotiating as aggressively as we've seen him negotiate on the world stage right now. Because the things he's saying and the way he's going about it, he's basically, I mean, if you've listened to it, he keeps talking about, we're really close to a peace deal. We're really close to a peace deal. And this directly involves him. So this isn't like Ukraine and Russia. Like, this is directly involving the United States of America. And we have to, because we supply and fund Israel. So he's definitely trying everything he can to get this peace deal. And the things he's saying are meant as scare tactics, because the great thing about Trump is that a lot of people think he's unpredictable, and a lot of people think that he just is a wild card in these situations. And I think he's trying to lean into that right now with a lot of the action that he's taking. The bottom line is, it is true, with me included, the heavy majority of MAGA voters do not want us involved in unnecessary wars with Middle East countries. We don't. I don't. 90% of MAGA does not want this. I don't want us involved in this shit at all. And I will stand true to that and consistent with that. I don't want us involved in this. And it feels like the Prime Minister of Israel is trying to manipulate the United States of America into this to help them. That's what it feels like on the surface. Clearly, there might be more going on, but this feels very manipulative from what I'm seeing. And I'm trying to just take this and calmly assess the situation as more official information comes out. And I do think Trump's in a very tough situation right now. I think he's in a very tough predicament. And a lot of people, like, they think that Trump, like, let's just be real. If you think Trump shouldn't be involved in this, please, like, let's have a real conversation. What do you think he should do? Like, if Trump cuts, like, and it's not realistic to say he should cut ties with Israel. Donald Trump would lose every piece of support. You can't just cut ties with Israel. He would lose so much support from his own fucking party to the point where they would bury the fuck out of him. That's the truth. So that's not a realistic scenario. So realistically, logically, what should Trump do in this situation right now? And I don't think anybody has a good answer. I think that he is in a very tough spot right now. And I'll say this, as someone who's a huge fan of Donald Trump, there's been one time that he legitimately lost, and that's with COVID. He got played with COVID. And I don't know if he realized it. To be honest, I don't know if Trump realizes it at this point, but he got played with COVID. They used COVID to take his presidency from him. And so he is not someone that cannot be he can be manipulated because he got manipulated with COVID. And I'm hoping that he has learned from mistakes in the past. And I hope that he doesn't allow himself to get played in this situation. I don't think he will, but it's not outside of the realm of possibility because he did get played with COVID. They used COVID to get rid of him, and they thought that they would get rid of him forever. But ultimately it backfired on them, and it doesn't change the fact that they used COVID to destroy his first presidency, destroy the momentum that he built. And I feel like right now, like I've said, the people that write the history books, they want the history books to say that World War III happened under Donald J. Trump. When Donald J. Trump was president, they want to be able to talk about the insurrection of 2020 and how he tried to overthrow the government and how all of the brave Democrats tried to stop him and how he held down diversity and equity and representation efforts. And he stormed back to power. He took back that power. And when he got back to power, there was protest around the country. No kings. We don't want a king. And suddenly he started World War III. That is what they want the history books to say. So we shall see how this all plays out. But I think Donald Trump has an incredibly tough situation on his hands right now. Incredible. Swig of water for the working man. Thank you guys for being here. Mike S. says Trump has said we are not getting involved unless Americans are attacked. He has actively held back. He is acting only defensively. What do people expect? Trump to stop Israel? People are acting like emotional liberals. I agree. That's where I'm at with it. Like, what do you want the man to do? That's what I'm trying to understand. Like, this is directly a result of Netanyahu's actions. Trump is in a defensive position because of the actions of Netanyahu. Now, how does he handle that is the question. You can blame Trump for how he handles the reaction, but why are people blaming him for the action of Netanyahu? I don't understand that. It's really weird. Donald Trump should be impeached because Netanyahu did something that Trump said, I don't want you to do? Donald Trump the reports are to say that Trump has said, don't attack, or whatever. But then there's other reports out there. Maybe it's from Israeli media that's trying to manipulate the situation, is saying that Trump orchestrated everything behind the scenes. I have no idea. What I've heard directly from the White House, though, is that Trump said, we are not getting directly involved unless Americans are attacked. We shall see what happens. Let's see. AOE2 Freak says, sorry for messing you up with the D-Day Cronkite. I agree with Chris Gore. Thank you. I appreciate it. We got Norm Al Man for 50 says, Trump arrived where I live for the G7. I am pretty sure he flew over my house on Sunday. Really? You think so? Dude, you had to get some video of that. That would have been awesome if you would have seen that, Norm Al Man. Got to get, did you get video of it? That would have been super cool, brother. Thank you for the 50. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Golden Nuggets. I got that one. Let's see. Packy Proton says, does President Trump know Jeremy worked retail? Fantastic Person Knox says, good day and hail. So the Minnesota shooter who pew-pewed those politicians was found and arrested. Thoughts? This situation feels very much like the Las Vegas shooter. I feel like they're going to just sweep this whole situation under the rug. That's what I think. Here, let's see. Oh, is this okay? Hang on. Let's hear directly from Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Here we go.
So you're going to be in the Situation Room pretty soon with the president. Is he still aiming for a nuclear deal with the Iranians? Of course. The president's, as he said today, his position has not changed. What you're watching in real time is peace through strength and America first. Our job is to be strong. We are postured defensively in the region to be strong in pursuit of a peace deal. And we certainly hope that's what happens here. And America first means we're going to defend American personnel and American interests. So when you see jets and you see air defense assets and counter UAS assets, that's because my job as the Secretary of Defense is to ensure that our people are safe and that we're strong so that we can set the conditions for a deal. And President Trump's made it clear it's on the table. The question is whether Iran will take it.
Who has a problem? Who has a problem with that, by the way? Just curious. Like, seriously, like, do you have a problem with what was just said, that we have a peace deal on the table? And if Iran is not accepting of the peace deal, why is that Trump's fault? I don't understand it. Now, are you mad because Israel attacked Iran? Good, be mad. Why is that President Trump's fault? I just don't. These are the things I don't get. Oh, well, Ben Shapiro does. But to be fair, Ben Shapiro still needs a high chair when he goes to a restaurant because he can't see over the table. So we understand Ben Shapiro's got a lot of things to be upset about. And he gets really mad if there's no high chair at the restaurant he goes to. By the way, Ben, open invite. We would have taken you to Epic Universe. Unfortunately, you didn't meet the minimum height requirement for all of the rides, buddy. You could probably ride the Yoshi ride at Super Nintendo World, though, Little Ben. You could probably get on the Yoshi ride. But, yeah, Little Ben's not tall enough to get on all the rides over at the theme parks. He's really upset about that one, too. Poor guy. I feel bad for him. You know? I mean, I'd be angry, too, if I was like, I can't even get on the rides at the theme park. You know? Oh man, I love making fun of Ben Shapiro. I can't stand Ben Shapiro. Let's see. Jeremy, Ben would beat your ass easily. I mean, I'm sure he would with the security guards that he walks around with all day. I'm sure he would absolutely destroy me. He's got plenty of big black security guards he pays for with that Daily Wire money. I don't have that kind of money. So, all right, let's see what other updates are happening right now. Ultimately, let's go back to, do you remember when Trump was going to crush the stock market? Remember when we were going to go into a recession? What did Trump call those people? Panicans. The same type of behavior is happening right now. Panicking behavior. Do not be a panican. Just relax. And let's see how this all plays out. Don't be a panican. Okay? That's all it is. Don't be a panican. Okay, we got that one. So, yeah, I mean, we're getting this. The Department of Defense confirms the defensive posture remains unchanged. We will protect American troops and interest. That is it. That's a good message. That's a very good message that I support. Let's see. John, what's up, John? Says all these new wannabe pundits on X need to stop the hysteria. This is not World War III. Neither China nor Russia is going to fight for Iran. The USA has been at war with Iran since 1979. Yeah, I mean, listen, monetizing Twitter. I'm not saying don't monetize Twitter. I'm not, because I think people should be able to get their money. However, because I think that if you're someone that says Twitter shouldn't be monetized, do you feel that way about YouTube as well? I don't think you do. Because that's the equivalent of saying that Twitter should be monetized. By that same definition, you're saying YouTube shouldn't be monetized. I think if people can make money, I support them making money. I think people should be a little smarter with the information that's out there. So like Mike Zero, who does Star Wars content, okay? Every time Mike Zero uploads a video, it's full of lies, okay? Nothing the man says is true. It's all bullshit. And people believe it to some extent. They just do. They go, oh, hey, Jeremy, Mike Zero said, oh, God, Mike Zero said. Like when you start out with Mike Zero said, it's over, bro. It's over. But a lot of the problems with Twitter is that we're seeing a lot of this as well. We're seeing a lot of accounts that push information that is not true, and then people run with it. And I just, you know, it's pretty wild. Crew Kid says, if Donald Trump really does this, he absolutely is fucking blowing it. Does Lindsey Graham have his ear? BB has been lying out of his ass about Iran and Iraq since the early 90s. He pushed weapons of mass destruction and Iraq lie. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I've taken away, because I knew that I was going to have to talk about this a lot. And so yesterday, after I had an awesome Father's Day hanging out with my family, I decided, like, hey, I'm going to turn the noise off a little bit, and I'm just going to, let's do a deep dive into all of this, because I've constantly, not just me, by the way, it's everywhere on the internet. People want you to be like on their side of whatever the debate is. And I'm very aware of things. So one person I did watch, I thought I really like Mark Dice's takes. Mark Dice has a great video on this Iran Israeli situation. He has a great video on it, and he calls it like it is. And I really, really like where he approaches it and how he calls other people out for being scared to have opinions on it and all of that, and how there's a lot of, you know, people that are bought and paid for. And, you know, when Mark Dice, like, the way he approaches it is he approaches it very logical and very reasonable. I don't respond to hyperbole very well. So when people just start screeching and accusing and crying, I just immediately just don't listen, because I don't care. With Mark Dice, I think it's very level-headed take, and it gives you an understanding as to, like, okay, this cuts through the bullshit, and it shows you like what the problems are and what the issues are. And so you know, so again, so I'm doing all this, and the one conclusion I came to is I was like, minus all the noise, if I'm watching this Netanyahu guy, and I'm listening to him talk to the American people the way he's talking to us, it's not complicated to understand when someone is flat out manipulating you. Now, why is it that when I say that Netanyahu is a manipulative piece of shit, why does that make me anti-Israel in the pro-Israel people's eyes? Was I anti-America when I called out Joe Biden for being a fucking piece of shit? No, I was calling out Joe Biden. Maybe don't be so emotionally reactive. Netanyahu is manipulative as fuck. He just is. I don't know how you can't see that. That has nothing to do with Israel. It has nothing to do with the people of Israel. It means your leader is a manipulative piece of shit. He is. No doubt about that. And I'm looking at this as, I hear the anti-Israel stuff, and I personally am like, I don't want to hear that noise. So I'm watching him thinking, I don't want to say nothing negative about this guy, because the anti-Israel people will jump on this and think I'm on their side. There ain't no way around it, dude. That guy is the mall kiosk guy of politicians and world leaders. I don't know how anybody believes anything that comes out of his mouth. I mean, that dude is crooked big time. Mike Zero Sources, President Reagan struck Gaddafi in the 1980s to send a message. This sent a message to the rest of the world. Perhaps another message is needed to the world. We'll see. I still trust President Trump to do the right thing. Let's see. XPS Gamer says China and Russia told Iran you are effed. Basically, they are not going to war. World War III isn't likely. Chill, y'all. Let Trump cook. I mean, that's the whole point. We'll see. Let's see. I know it. Like the insanity. Let's see. So this is what Trump posted earlier. I think that this is a negotiation tactic. Iran should have signed the deal. I told them to sign. What a shame and a waste of human life. Simply stated, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I said over and over again, everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. People are freaking out over this, and I think that this is a negotiation tactic from President Trump. Tyler B says, I don't understand all the emotional instability. I'm not pro forever war, but it looks like we're talking 30-second war. Iran doesn't exist on the map, so what's the issue? One less towelhead country. Let's see. Peter Sharon says that's pretty much what every country does because they're weak. They start shit and then they call for Big Brother America to come do the fighting for them. Total BS. You're not wrong. Mark of Reality says, I'm sick and tired of hearing from these stupid people thinking that they're so much smarter on all of your foreign policy issues. What he says and does is somehow wrong, but they don't know half of it. Jeffrey Hill says, hard to say this is a tough choice. I wouldn't want to be in the position of President Trump, and I think he will make the right decision for the U.S. and for MAGA. Mike S. says, Trump is the most tested president of all of our lifetimes. He has proven himself not only through success, but through learning from failure in his first term. I will be calm and let the man cook. That right there, 100% agree with everything you just said. He's the most tested president of our lifetime. He's been tested 1,000 times. I think that he's earned the right to cook a little bit. Ministry of Wrong Things says Trump should be impeached because he might help our ally after they attack someone. Libertarians act cocky and pretentious for a party with a long-term goal of getting 5% of the vote. I agree, man. Libertarians are... Daniel says Tucker and Bannon interview premiering now. Yeah, I've got a bunch of clips from Tucker and Bannon's interview pulled up. Star Wars and Stripe says, what's your take on the Tucker situation? Well, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Tucker Carlson. I don't think that his criticisms of President Trump are from a mean place. I don't think they come from a bad place. I think that they're very reasonable criticisms that he had of President Trump. And so I don't have any problem with what Tucker Carlson said. Based on the stuff I've seen, maybe there's something out there that I haven't heard, but, you know, based on that, I got no problem with it. Tennessee Tornado says, unless and until our troops make an offensive move, I'm not going to freak out. I've seen no evidence yet that Trump is making offensive military moves in the Middle East. Thank you. Trump is your president says you summed up the long-term plan perfectly, Jeremy. Pray for our country and everybody and pray for our children. Hail the 199. Thank you. Eric Heffelfinger says ships and planes could be for mass evacuations across multiple countries, while fighter jets and warship could be to protect that evacuation line. Time will tell. Eric says illegals cause riots, Trump's fault. Israel attacks Iran, somehow it's Trump's fault. I'm sensing a pattern. That's it, man. It's always Trump's fault. Impeach Trump because mall kiosk guy attacks Iran. Okay. Normal Man says, I have pics of Trump flying over. Where can I send them? You can send them to my D-Day Cobra Twitter account. My DMs are open. JRG Projects for 50 says, now that I know the full context, the Persians, non-Muslim Iranians, if given the chance, would welcome the opportunity to regain their culture. The Persians have held hostages by the Shia Muslims for 40 plus years. Should whoever get involved? No. Yeah, and thank you for the 50. It's a complicated circumstance, man. That's the truth of it. Jay Rick says you should get Robert Barnes on for this crisis. Yeah, like I said, you guys know, and thank you again, JRG Project, for the 50. I'm not big on, like, I do so many shows where I have panels and guests and all that. I try to keep CobraCast relative to me, with occasionally appearance from somebody on my Geeks and Gamers crew. There's too many people that think that they build their followings off of guests, and I don't want to build my following off of guests. If you care about what I have to say, then I want you here. But if you're only here because I brought a guest in, then what's the point? You know what I mean? So yeah, I just don't know, man. YouTube is so gay. Like, the whole YouTube ecosphere is so gay about, like, it's all about, like, people wanting to, people only care about you if they think you can, if they can benefit from you and all of that shit. And I don't know. I get annoyed with the whole song and dance of it. Cosmic Cowboy says, almost bought into the Tucker Carlson hate. I don't always agree with him, but he is entitled to his opinion. I just fear all of this Iran stuff is going to fracture the Trump base more and won't recover. I mean, this is a fair point. This is a fair point, because it could hurt, and it may hurt the Trump administration and the MAGA movement. There ain't no doubt about that. That is not hyperbole. If Donald Trump decides to go on the offensive and full on create a war, it's going to hurt my support for him. Absolutely. I'm not saying I'm going to jump ship like a fucking libertarian, but yeah, it will absolutely make me look at it and go, what are we doing? Like, what the hell is this? And I think that there's going to be a huge portion of MAGA that are going to be far less forgiving than me, even. Because ultimately, if as it stands right now, I feel like Netanyahu is manipulating Trump into this. I feel like he is forcing Trump's hand. Listen, it's really easy to kind of sit here and go, Trump's the alpha and he runs things, and he does. But dude, these world leaders these are some manipulative pieces of shit, man. These are some guys that are used to being in charge, and they don't like to be bossed around, and they're willing to kind of do whatever they can. And this feels like a very, very manipulative move on Netanyahu's part, based on the optics and the fact that he keeps talking to the American people like we need to be convinced. It's why are you talking to us? We have the only reason you'd be talking to us is because you're trying to leverage public pressure, and it's not working. It's going in the complete opposite direction. The more that Netanyahu talks, the more Americans don't want anything to do with this shit. Like, I want to play the clip of what he said. I got to find it. Let's see. I want to play the actual clip. And it doesn't help when you have clowns like Lindsey Graham says game on. It's almost like he's cheering because it's a game. He's like, game on. What? Oh, I just, these warmongers are terrible. All right, here we go. Right here. This right here. Tell me this doesn't feel manipulative right here.
It's Tel Aviv. Tomorrow it's New York. It's Tel Aviv. Tomorrow it's New York. I understand America first. I don't understand America dead. That's what these people want. They chant death to America. So we're doing something that is in the service of mankind, of humanity, and it's a battle of good against evil. America should and does stand with the good. That's what President Trump is doing, and I deeply appreciate his support.
John Carl joins me now.
I don't like it, man. I don't like it at all.
So, John, What else did he say about President Trump and how he wants the U.S. to play a role here, or did he?
Well, look, he praised President Trump over and over again in this interview. He knows that he needs the United States support, at least in terms of doing what the U.S. is doing now.
Yes, the overboard of praising Trump. He's going overboard, and it's a clear manipulation tactic.
Is helping Israel defend itself from those retaliatory attacks from Iran. So it was all couched in a thank you, President Trump. You've been Israel's best friend, but he made it clear that he would like to see more. He didn't come out and directly say it in those ways, but what you heard, what you played right there, I understand America first. I don't understand America dead. He is really speaking to those in the Trump movement, those in the MAGA movement who are adamantly opposed to the United States getting involved in another Middle East conflict. And as you know, Kira, there are some prominent voices, supporters, outside advisors of Donald Trump who are saying, don't get involved. The United States can't be involved. You campaigned against forever wars. People like Tucker Carlson, Steve Bannon, Charlie Kirk. Those are, close supporters of Donald Trump who are saying that they don't think the United States should be involved in this. And Netanyahu, it seemed to me, by using their language, I understand America first, I don't understand America dead, was speaking directly to Donald Trump and to his supporters who are critical of what Israel is doing.
Yeah. And I think that backfired massively because especially people in the MAGA movement, they're not going to fall for that. People in the MAGA movement are not going to fall for that. Like, just be real with people and say what you need to say, but don't get manipulative and cute. This is political speak. This is everything that MAGA stands against. MAGA doesn't go for BS claims like that. This is why we moved on from the old guard of the politicians. This is why we embraced Donald Trump, because Donald Trump doesn't talk like that. Donald Trump doesn't manipulate like that. He doesn't have a filter. MAGA does not respond to this type of stuff. You are trying the old conservative guard type of thing that doesn't work with MAGA. It absolutely does not. Jesse MacArthur says Tulsi wasn't at Camp David because of Susie Wiles. She sucks. Bondi sucks. Bongino and Cash. I believe Armageddon's going to happen. I just wish we would try harder to stop it. Trump's to go, but got to call out liars. No deals. Thank you for the $20. Appreciate that. Cosmic Cowboy says, remember the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962? Diplomacy won out in the end. We should seek all diplomatic options before there are no other options but conflict. And I do at my core, I do believe that that's what Trump is trying to do. He's being aggressive with it. He's being very aggressive with what he's doing right now. But I do believe that he is trying everything he can. Let's see. So, again, what is this? New York Times is reporting, again, New York Times, take it with a grain of salt, that President Trump is weighing a critical decision amid the escalating 4-day war between Israel and Iran, whether to directly intervene by assisting Israel in striking Iran's deeply buried nuclear enrichment facility. Let's see, bunker bus deployed by. So that's on the table right now. So he's thinking about, this is according to the New York Times. Who's giving the New York Times this information? Who in the administration would be leaking this information? That's what I want to know. I don't believe that. Who in the administration is talking to the New York fucking Times? So now you have Bernie Sanders leading a charge of 8 senators to introduce a bill to prevent the United States from joining Israel's war with Iran. And Bernie Sanders is at the forefront of this. The only way to get me to, let's hang on. Let's see. Yeah. Anytime Bernie Sanders is at the forefront of something, I want to be on the opposite side of it, but I'm not just going to because Bernie's over there, but God, fuck Bernie Sanders. Okay, we got that. I'm just looking for more updates really quick to see where we're at. What is this? See, look at this. Look at this. This is from Israeli media. Trump is expected to sign a presidential order in the coming hours to join the war. Where are you getting this from? Where are you getting that information from? This is crazy, man. The information war is crazy right now. Let me see. See, like right here. U.S. fighter jets participating in airstrikes on Iran, according to Israeli Channel 14. So he works for the president, and he says this is fake news. This is Twitter right now. This is Twitter right now. So many lies, so much propaganda. Wow. Yes, Trump called him kooky, talking about Tucker Carlson. I mean, I think it's funny. I think it's funny. Trump's calling Tucker kooky. Fentanyl Floyd says the right have been having irrational emotional meltdowns like leftists based on hypotheticals and rumors. Yes, that is exactly what we are seeing in the past 48 hours. I have never seen information this flawed right now like I have in the last 48 hours. Let's see. Oh, shit. Now people are bringing Trump tweets back up from 2011. It's a Trump tweet from 2011. In order to get elected, Barack Obama will start a war with Iran. Holy shit. There's always a Trump tweet, brother. There's always a Trump tweet. Oh, God. All right, let's see where we're at here. All right, so Anna Paulina Luna, great personality, by the way. Per the White House, it's not true. American forces are maintaining their defensive posture, and that has not changed. We will defend American interests. By the way, she posted a picture. I got to be honest, okay? Now, you guys, I've said this 1,000 times about, like, President Trump. You know, it's like President Trump, he's the type of guy, like, you know, he takes all of the energy wherever he's at. Like, he commands the room. And I generally believe that. But I saw this picture that Anna Paulina Luna posted of her and Trump. She claims Trump is in the picture. I don't see Trump anywhere. Maybe I'm going blind, but I don't see Donald Trump anywhere in this picture. However, I see Anna Paulina Luna, but I don't see Donald Trump anywhere. So this is the first time apparently that I've seen a picture with Donald Trump in it, but I don't see him anywhere. I don't know. But that's just, I don't know. That's my take on that situation right there. But moving on, right? So China's embassy is telling Israel, or is in Israel, is telling citizens to leave the country as soon as possible. I do have a live feed right now. This is in Tel Aviv, Israel. And I don't think we have any footage of Iran. I don't think we have any live footages of Iran. By the way, so we had a video earlier of an Iran. This is okay. So I honestly, when I saw this clip, I honestly questioned if it was real. Okay. And I'll show you guys the clip. And I'll explain why I thought it was fake. And I still question if it's real or not. As soon as I can find it. I got so many bookmarks of stuff that I wanted to talk about today. And the reason I'm looking at, like, I see this clip and I'm just like, this can't be real. This can't be real because there's a woman right here. Okay, here it is. Check this out. So this is
صدای متجاوز به صدای حق و حقیقت است. آنچه که ملاحظه کردید، صدایی که شنیدید، فضای غبارآلوده استادیوم
Now, the reason I'm questioning if it's authentic or not, and I've never been to Iran, when did they start letting women speak? Not only letting women speak, when did they start letting women speak to the public on the airwaves? Again, that's why I was questioning it. Like, I was just like, oh, I didn't know women were allowed to speak. So I guess it's real. Diversity is our strength in Iran as well. So, oh man. All right, Pete Hegseth slaps back at the King's Day protest. Let's hear this.
Mr. Secretary, what was it like to observe the military parade with the president? I mean, Jesse, it's exactly what we knew it would be. A beautiful celebration of the country and a recognition of 250 years of the United States Army. You don't get 1776 without 1775, the year the Army was created to defend the nation. And that's what we're still doing right now. And so it was an immense moment of pride for the president, for the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of the Army, everyone attending, all Americans who got to watch it on TV and who were motivated, who were proud, who were honored, who recognize that the things that we celebrate are a reflection of the things that we value. We value our troops. We value service. We value patriotism. We value the flag. And so that demonstration showed how strong we are, and that strength underwrites the freedom that we love. And so from everybody who watched it, saw it for what it was, which was a celebration, a beautiful celebration of the United States Army and the United States, and we should do more like it. I mean, it was a parade that got me motivated, or a series of parades that got me motivated to join the military many years ago when I was a kid.
I agree.
Those things matter, and that you've seen recruitment soar for our military because of President Trump. Events like that are going to remind Americans how special service is. So it was awesome.
It was
the president
awesome.
was dead on right to do it. So the president never turned to you and said, "Mr. Secretary, please turn the tanks on the No King protest." Because that's what the media said he was going to do. Of course, because they make an entire living. Their entire profession is predicated on intentionally misrepresenting the intentions of President Trump. I mean, this is a guy who wants peace through strength. This is a guy who wants a strong military so we can deter conflict. He thinks that, maybe we should send the National Guard to Los Angeles so that we can defend federal agents who are under attack. Yet he gets mischaracterized. So it's all a lie. It's all a misrepresentation. President Trump loves all Americans, wants American citizens to be kept safe, wants to defend our border, all the things they mischaracterize. Of course, the parade's another one of them. We know, we get to watch President Trump every day. We know where his core is. We know that he loves the American people, wants a parade to celebrate our army, and the rest of them can just be haters. That's all they are. So, Mr. Secretary.
And of course, Rand Paul didn't like it one bit.
I'm all for the president appearing and doing enlistment ceremonies at military bases. I've been with the president at Dover to receive home our dead soldiers, and so those who have been killed in action, and to mourn their loss. But I just never liked the idea of the parade, because I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and the only parades I can remember are Soviet parades for the most part, or North Korean parades. And the parades I remember from our history were different. Everybody remembers that famous scene of the soldier, dipping the girl and kissing the girl in New York in a ticker tape parade. But we were rejoicing the end of war, and we were rejoicing our soldiers coming home. And that absolutely ought to be commemorated and discussed every year, Memorial Day, Veterans Day. But we never glorified weapons so much. And I know he means well. I don't think he means for any of this to be depicted in another fashion, but I'm just not a big fan. And then there is the cost. I mean, we're $2 trillion in the hole, and just an additional cost like this, I'm not for it.
There you go. So Rand Paul, not feeling the celebration of the United States military. So there it is. He's another one of the panicans, we would say. He is a panican, and he's been panicking a lot lately. Let's see. Yeah, so Trump did call out Tucker Carlson. He's been tweeting a lot, actually. He also said America first means many great things, including the fact that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, make America great again. If you're just tuning in, my take on this whole thing is that Trump is negotiating and he's posturing. That's what he's doing, in my opinion. Thank you, Normal Man. I will check my DMs and see if I can get that picture. But I think all of this is negotiation tactics from President Trump right now. That's everything he's saying, everything he's doing. The ideas that it seems like he's threatening are meant to leverage because ultimately, yes, you don't, Iran doesn't want the United States involved. But bottom line is what Iran doesn't probably know is that MAGA doesn't want us involved either. I don't think Iran probably understands it to that level. Do they even have social media over there? I don't think they even have social media. So they probably have no idea that his entire base is 100% against it. Now, you know, you do have a bunch of these neocon warmongers, like this piece of shit right here. Randy Fine indicates President Trump is implying the United States might possibly bomb Tehran. These people are insane. Look at him. Thank you, POTUS. Bombs away. God, man, these people, these warmongers, dude. Like, why would you celebrate bombs in any capacity whatsoever? There's nothing to celebrate. If that was the case, there's nothing to celebrate. I hate these warmongers. I can't stand them. I can't stand the Lindsey Grahams of the world. I can't. Drives it. Just to sit there and celebrate something like that is absolutely sick and disgusting. Vault 95 says, thanks for saving us from Timmy and bringing us real news. Maria says, Israel was responsible for JFK's assassination. We need to be skeptical of Bibi. He has led us into stupid situations too. Stop funding Israel. Minecraft Mazda says, listen, we don't care about your opinion, Jeremy, especially on Jessica Lindstrom's birthday. Happy 70th birthday. R.I.P. Pumpkin. Little Jim says, all the last-minute Trump voters who vote for someone else other than Trump putting out info to get a reaction. I trust you more than these people. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, that's really what it is. I think it was, I can't remember, somebody the other day said all the Bernie bros that supported Trump at the last second are now turning on Trump. And I'm like, that is 100% accurate right there. Alice McCarthy says, I agree with Jay. Bubba Doom says, if we do go to war, at least with T money, we'll actually fight to win and not go into it for 20 years. Pray, y'all, that do pray. Yep, thank you. Yep, I agree. John Kokoza says, America first means making sure one of the most, demonic regimes in modern history that chants death to America never obtains a nuke. Anna Gotten with a new member. Thank you. Little Jims says, this is the new fog of war, the use of social media. That is true. It absolutely is. Ryan says, in my opinion, pundits are jumping the shark with the ISR Iran. I just hope that and pray that Trump is the president to break the 50-plus year cycle of sending our young men to unalive on behalf of others. I mean, I think that worst case scenario for the United States of America, worst case scenario, in my opinion, worst case, we bomb their nuclear facilities. That's the worst case. I don't think we would see boots on the ground, but I don't even want that. I don't want us bombing them at all. But I believe that would be the worst case, is bombing their nuclear facilities. I don't see that there's going to be boots on the ground. But who knows? I don't fucking know. I'm a retard with a microphone. Let's see. Buster Nut Smash says, has anyone started calling Trump the Antichrist yet, or did that ship sail after they started the war on Christians? Somebody just in the chat, again, a retarded question, okay? A retarded question. Is Jeremy a Jew? I'm begging for super chats. Clearly I'm not, okay? I'm literally begging for fucking super chats. Buster Nut Smash says, has anyone started calling Trump the Antichrist yet? Or has that ship sailed? Oh, I got that one. Thank you, Buster Nut Smash. Paul says, I'm coming from the position where all politicians are manipulative. They have to be able to get their agenda, though. It's what Trump is doing with his tweets where Iran is concerned. I agree. 100%. Let me see. I thought I saw 20 come in. Oh, yeah, Norma, man. Let me check that, see if I can find that one really quick. Sometimes messages on Twitter do not work very well. Like right now, I can't even get my inbox opened. Come on, Twitter. Why are you being gay? Let me hit refresh. I know it's called X, but I don't know, man. It's hard for me to call Twitter X. It really is. Twitter's a great name. Let's see if that's you. What is your @ Normal, man? Because I've got a lot of pictures on my inbox. There it is. Okay. I got it. Is this it right here? That's awesome, man. Check it out. President Trump and the crew. Looks like the flyover was happening, man. That's good stuff, man. So I think there might be more pictures. Let me see. And yeah, there's a few more. We go right there. Jeremy Piper. All right, let's see. Here we got Charlie Kirk. What's Charlie Kirk got to say? I used to not like Charlie Kirk. He's okay. He's okay.
Bernie Sanders, Charlie, just says he's going to introduce a resolution, the No War versus Iran Act. He says it's going to be an illegal war the president is going to take us into. Some people on the right, they're saying don't forget about Iraq. How are you reconciling these issues?
Well, first, this is the moment that President.
Somebody said, why didn't I like him? I mean, it's not fair to him, but yeah, he comes like, if you actually like at first, like Charlie Kirk comes off very cringe and very much like fake, but he definitely grew on me, and I saw that he was very authentic. But at first it just like, he's very creepy. When you first get to like, see how he smiles and he looks at Pete. He's just very weird, but yeah, he's actually a decent guy. I don't know him, but
Trump was elected for. Thank God that we have President Trump in the Oval Office with this high stakes situation. Look, President Trump 10 years ago, he went down the golden escalator. And when he announced for the presidency 10 years ago to this day, he remade the Republican Party on foreign policy. He said no more permanent wars in the Middle East. He criticized the Bush-Cheney philosophy of endless quagmires. Albeit, though, he is not an isolationist. He is willing to use violent and precise force against our enemies, like taking out Soleimani or dropping the Moab, if and when necessary. President Trump understands his base extraordinarily well. He knows that his base does not want another Iraq. He does not want Libya, does not want a civil war or bedlam where the United States is left carrying the bag. But also, President Trump has been morally clear for a decade. Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. And President Trump has the talent, the expertise to be able to thread that needle. The generation that I represent, Jesse, the under 30 crowd, they absolutely are very war weary. Many of them voted for President Trump on college campuses because they did not want to see a Joe Biden or George Bush philosophy where we get into this endless conflict where we're sending hundreds of billions of dollars. I think President Trump will be able to balance those two things while defending our allies, saying that Iran will not have a nuclear weapon without having to deploy a single American troop or even having America involved from the sky. President Trump can get that deal done while fulfilling the mandate that the voters gave him.
I hope he's right. And, Charlie Kirk definitely has direct connections to President Trump and the Trump administration. I think that Trump is going to be able to handle this situation. And I think that it's a tough situation. I think he's in a position that only he can handle right now. I think social media has created so many stories and so many overreactions right now. And it kind of goes back to don't be a panicking. Don't panic. Don't overreact. Don't freak out. Let Trump cook This is a very complicated situation with a lot of complicated details. Everything's going to be okay. Fantastic Snuck says Rand Paul is stupid. He does he know that Australia have military parades to commemorate the military who took part in war since World War I? It's not just a USSR, China, and a North Korea thing. It's just Rand Paul's got like he's just going to be opposite of anything Trump does at this point. So let's see here. Normal Man says, me, Lolbert, make me lame point about spending Lolbert smash. Thank you, Normal Man. Red Mage 450 says, catching up on what's been going on, the amount of lies that are quickly getting debunked and gaslighting is insane. Taking breaking news all over X with a grain of salt. I saw Trump and he spelled it out very clearly what he wants to accomplish. Well said. And this is where I'm at with it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, every time, like for the first, let's see, Snatch Grabber over on Rumble says, Jeremy calling it complicated is bullshit. And you know it. Israel is a source for the problems we have. They need to be cut off. Well, I mean, I've already talked about Israeli news seeming to be pretty, complicit in all of the misinformation right now. So, I've kind of talked about that already, but I also look at not just Israel, but it's conservative influencers are running with the stories too without even knowing if it's true, just because they want to build some narrative that Trump is, in bed with Israel. Like they're not even doing any research on it. So then they're pushing the information out there without even knowing if it's true or not to create this massive hysteria across the board. So yeah, I mean, the source of it could be whatever you want, but then you've got people that are like supposedly like Trump supporters that are claiming they're I'm no longer supporting Trump because I heard this news that I don't even know if it's true or not, but I'm going to react emotionally, Thank you, Red Mage. I appreciate you and I. That's exactly, I feel exactly the same right now. You just got to be calm through all this nonsense. Ministry of Fun Things says, this is deliberate misinformation campaign to maintain a fog of war and keep your enemies in the dark while Trump talks strategy negotiations. Agreed. Dark Helmet says, we lost beautiful F-14s thanks to Israel. White Mike says, we have B-52s and F-22s, absolute air dominance. We shouldn't attack, but we are unstoppable. Mike S says, I just want to remind everyone that Dave Smith dropped out of the election before his party's primary to let a literal gay retard win the nomination. Yeah, what was that guy's name? Chase, the guy that won the nomination for Libertarian, or that he won the presidency. Chase. Is it Chase? I can't remember. What's his name? Somebody will tell me. Chase Oliver. That's it. Yeah, Chase Oliver. Oh my God. That guy was pathetic. So I do recall that. And I do recall President Trump going to the Libertarian National Convention and they booed him out of the building, even though he not only did he tell them what they wanted them to hear, he actually did what they claimed they wanted. And they still get mad at him. What was that guy's name that they wanted? They were all like Free Ross something or whatever, starts with a U. And Trump committed to releasing him. They released him. Trump released him, pardoned him, and they still got mad. Like, good Lord, man. Patriotic Eagle. Read Art of the Deal recently, and one thing I picked up on was when making a deal for something that benefits both, he will push hard to get the goal. Yes, this is the art of the deal. It's not just a meme. It's actually how he operates. Colin Bright says, Carter caused all this crap. All hail the snake pit. Thank you. Philip Butler says, relax, Jeremy. Don't be hysterical. He's going to hit. Rob says, Trump should stay the course. YouTube comment censorship is a joke. Dave Smith is a fool. Cliff Fix, what's up, Cliff? Trump is correct. He said Iran cannot be allowed to get atomic weapons. If Iran succeeds, it will lead to hell on earth. Can we all agree on this? I absolutely agree with that. And this is why I am very much appreciative that Trump is continuing to push peace negotiations. we either believe Trump or we don't, and I believe Trump, that a peace deal is on the table. Can they accept the peace deal? Will they accept the peace deal? Don't know. But I also believe that Netanyahu has tried to force Trump into his war. I absolutely believe that as well. Eric says Smith has TDS when it comes to his foreign policy. Fantastic Knox says, I'll say it. Ben Shapiro is a fig. That is all. Antonica, is that how I say it? Antoniak says, all these panicking IDOTs will be cheering later. Iran has been a problem for decades. If he solves it all, the screeching girls will shut up. That is true, too. That is true, too. Thank you so much. Crew Kid says, what does it say about Ben Shapiro that high-profile people who used to work for him become anti-Semitic? Well, who? I don't know who's worked for him. Look, I mean, I think Ben Shapiro is one of the biggest negatives for Jewish people in this country because of the perception, and I think he's the poster child for a lot of people's issues. Like, Ben Shapiro is terrible. He really is. And Ben Shapiro kind of got famous off of a very carefully strategic play to go and debate very stupid college kids to make him seem so much smarter and on point than he really was. Then the Daily Wire pushed all of the, like, on Facebook, the Daily Wire poured millions of dollars into basically making Ben Shapiro appear that he was like super popular, and it was all from like ads and stuff like that. And look, I used to be a Ben Shapiro fan. I used to love watching Ben Shapiro back in like 2014, 15, 16, whatever it was. Like, I just thought Ben Shapiro was awesome. I was watching Ben Shapiro all the time. And then I saw his comments about Trump back in like 2015, where he called Donald Trump a racist and a sexist. And I was like, huh. So you sound like a leftist calling Donald Trump a racist and a sexist. Okay. Interesting. And then, of course, Ben Shapiro got proven wrong. He had to eat crow and admit that he was wrong, only to then turn on Donald Trump again and go to full DeSantis. And, again, so I said this years ago that, Trump had the Abraham Accords, right? Created all that historic peace deal in the Middle East. Ben Shapiro, his number one thing, the thing that he stood for more than anything, was Israel to be safe. Yet you turned on Trump on his reelection bid for DeSantis, even though Trump kept Israel safe. And I was just like, this guy's a clown. This guy is a total clown. You don't actually believe anything. You were looking for a neocon. That's what they wanted. And I really like Ron DeSantis. I'm from the state of Florida. He's been a great governor. He's been a phenomenal governor. I've always been a fan of him as a governor, and I'm very thankful for him. But I believe, it's just like I said earlier with, like, when I look at Netanyahu, he comes off as a mall kiosk salesman of world leaders. All I can do is call it like it is. I was a mega fan of Ron DeSantis until he ran for president. When he ran for president, it felt like the rhinos got in his ear and told him, hey, Trump's going to jail. And when he gets knocked off, you're going to be the guy. So we need you to go ahead and run, and we're going to support you completely. That's what it felt like happened. Because there was no logical reason for Ron DeSantis to run against President Trump. There was absolutely none. But it felt like the neocons got in his ear and says, hey, Trump's going to jail, and we're going to back you. We need you. That's what it felt like. I'm glad he's back. He's doing the governor stuff, but yeah. Let me see here. Mac GG says, do you honestly believe Trump had nothing to do with Israel's attack on Iran day one after the Iran negotiations ended? Be real. I have no idea, but if you want to talk about all of it, Trump gave him 60 days. On the 61st day is when the attack happened. Do I believe Trump? I don't know. I have no idea. But I also believe that Netanyahu is very manipulative. So I don't know. I can't answer that for sure. Do I believe it? No. If Trump says he didn't do it, then I don't believe it. I mean, Trump has every right to go in there if he wants to, but he's choosing to, like, I don't know. It feels way messy. It feels way too like coming from the people that are trying to spin so many narratives. So I don't believe it. Sven Dragon says, wishy-washy negotiations. Iran agreed to initial terms and Trump backed out and made new terms. Where's that at? Do we have like an article on that? I'd like to see. Minecraft Mazda says, I can't relax right now. Meek blew up my PS5. Why Meek? Ray says, why does Iran need to listen to Trump, though? I mean, if Israel can have a nuke, shouldn't Iran? Netanyahu lied about WMD that sucked us into Iraq. Well, I mean, on the surface, one is our ally and one isn't. Now, if you want to get into the details of it, then that's fine. But on the surface, one is our ally and one is not our ally. One of them literally hates us, like truly hates us at the forefront. So on the surface, I'm just talking about on the surface. Mike Zero Source says, PSA, if this is getting too stressful, take a break and check out the Omre Bikini Watch live feed. Ryan says, breaking news. Mike Zero says, Jeremy does not, what is this? Oh, bang his cousin. Oh, Mike Zero. Lindsay, the Cynical Geek, says, just a reminder that Netanyahu is a member of the WEF. That alone should be a reason not to trust him. Dirty Jersey says, BB is cooked enough to sleep with a trombone. Were we anti-American for calling out W for the Iraq war? We call out BS. We question First Amendment. Yes. Yeah. I mean, George W. Bush, I think of George W. Bush, how Dave Smith claims he thought of Trump before he decided to vote for Trump. I would never, ever vote for President George W. Bush after what I know about him. I do believe he's a war criminal. I absolutely believe George W. Bush is a war criminal for what he did. I would never go, but I'm going to support. No, I just absolutely would not. I would never vote for a person that I claim as a war criminal. I can't stand George W. Bush. Philip Butler says, I wonder where John Kerry is. Where is John Kerry these days? I haven't seen much about him. How old is John Kerry now? John Kerry's got to be pretty old now. Matt says, Trump wants the Nobel Prize. We're not going to war. Zandy says, I didn't vote for Trump to get us into another Bush-style hunt for fake WMDs and regime changing in the Middle East. America has way too many problems right now for this. Philip Johnson says, look forward to your rematch with Ripa on main event. We're not going to argue on this. Not on there anyway. Trump is your president. All Trump needs to do is keep us out of war like he promised. I trust that he knows by now when countries are attempting to manipulate him. Joseph says, if you have ships or soldiers are fired upon, Trump will respond. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, really, Israel's got this, and their supreme leader should have been gone years ago, however you say his name. Lance says, keep in mind, the first world leader to ball wash Biden for his election victory was Netanyahu. The man has no loyalty. He's no friend. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Wizardman says, I swear to God, if we go into the Middle East, Vault 95 says, I'll take Twitter 10 times out of 10 over corporate press. I do too. I mean, look, I'm not saying I hate Twitter per se. I just think that it's a shit show. DB for 20 says, Shapiro's arguments are like microwaves, loud, fast, and somehow still leave the middle cold. River Miles says, breaking, Dave Rubin accepting young, vibrant men into his all-male LA bomb shelter for protection from LA riots, Iran, and women. Let's see. Merck says, agreed. Bibi mentioning New York is no different than Zelensky mentioning that Russia will come for us. Slimy, escalating comment. Agreed. Big time agree on that. Let me make sure nothing new is happening right now in the moment. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham.
The task at hand. Be all in, President Trump, in helping Israel eliminate the nuclear threat. If we need to provide bombs to Israel, provide bombs. If we need to fly planes with Israel, do joint operations. But here's the bigger question. Wouldn't the world be better off if the Ayatollahs went away and replaced by something better? Wouldn't Iran be better off? Tom Cotton is coming on. He made a great...
We were told the same thing about Iraq. Get rid of Saddam Hussein. The world will be better off. Iraq got worse after Saddam Hussein.
Observation. The endless wars are on. Since 1979, they've been attacking the entire region, chanting death to America, death to Israel since their very founding. It's time to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen. Let's close that chapter soon and start a new chapter in the Mideast, one of tolerance, hope, and peace.
But the Trump doctrine seems to be very...
Let me repeat what Lindsey Graham actually is saying. Wouldn't it be better for Israel if the Ayatollah and his henchmen were gone? That's what Lindsey Graham really wants to say.
Clear tonight, Senator, and that is that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, number one, and I agree with that.
The task at hand. Be all in.
Yeah, I really, really can't stand Lindsey Graham, dude. I despise him so much. I despise that man. He is the absolute worst. Yeah, Rapid Response is basically trying to battle all of the lies and narrative. President Donald J. Trump has never wavered in his stance that Iran cannot be allowed to have a nuclear weapon, a pledge he has made repeatedly, both in office and on the campaign trail. Here we go.
And that was a license for them to make nuclear weapons. And you cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. You cannot let it happen because bad things will happen if that. They were ready to make a deal. We would have made a deal that was great for everybody. No nuclear weapons. You can't give them nuclear weapons. Now they're going to have a nuclear weapon. Everybody, don't let Iran have nuclear weapons. That's my only thing I have to tell you today. Don't let them have it. They would have never had them.
So I think that's just because of all the crazy stuff that's being said right now. Kretosis with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. Is my stream lagging up? Am I okay? Everything okay? My stream's lagging up on, let me refresh, see if my stream's, trying to see. I don't know what's going on with my stream right now. I good? We good? Okay. Just got to make sure because you never know. All right, let me sign into this account. Make sure we're good. Okay, seems okay. All right. Yeah, it was just it was showing some. I was showing a spinning wheel on the background. So, okay, looks like we're good now. All right, good shit. Okay. Thank you, Kretosis, for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. Jake Skywalker says, anyway, How to Train Your Dragon is incredible. I do want to see it. I really enjoyed the animated movie, so I do want to see it. Jesse MacArthur, just to clarify, Susie Wiles sucks. Tulsi is awesome. I'm all about peace deals. I'm just tired of bad actors and no deals and uniparty shills. I got you, brother. I got you. Jeff K says, all right, chat. Time to wish Jessica Lindstrom a happy birthday. She deserves it. Packy Proton says, Leslie Nielsen in front of Iran for the crowd control. Nothing to see here. Please disperse. Let's see. I don't know how I say that. Al Eric says multiple sources report seismic activity near Iran nuclear labs, possible 1 or 2 underground nuclear tests, final step to deploying nuclear bomb. Well, I mean, if we hear this from the Trump administration, I will believe it, but I don't know, man. By the way, we have so many new viewers to this channel lately. When the chat is screaming muted, it's a meme. They're trying to make me think I'm muted. And we have a lot of new viewers going, what the hell? I hear him. I hear him. What are they talking about? So that's what it is. It's just a meme. Let's see here. Yapping Tom says, let's see, which one cures, which one cures Jeremy? Kristi Noem or Anna Paulina Luna? Oh, I'll take Anna Paulina Luna all day over Kristi Noem. All day. Junior becomes a new member. But you know I'd take over Anna Paulina Luna? Prime Jessica Alba. Prime Jessica Alba for the win. I don't care if she's a liberal nut job. She's better seen, not heard anyway. Fantastic Knox says, adding to what I was saying, these parades isn't a show of force, but a show of respect for those who served and fallen so we can have our way of life. I agree completely. Let's see a photo. You want to see a photo of Prime Jessica Alba? Jessica Alba. Right here. Is this for research purposes? All right, this is only for research purposes. Prime Jessica Alba, right there. There you go. Into the Blue. If you've never seen Into the Blue, I would highly recommend you watch it. There's a great scene in Into the Blue right here. That's a great scene. Great cinematography in this scene. Like this is great camera work right here, okay? Great camera work. I got to say. Like great camera work. Okay, so there you go. Pedro says, how can it be a negotiation? Israel said it will not stop. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think he's negotiating on Israel's part. I think he's negotiating on America's involvement. John becomes a new member. Thank you. Sir Ruin of House Roundhouse said, if Trump puts troops on the ground in Iran, is that a red line for you? It's impossible to say because there's a lot of nuance that goes with that. But as it stands right now, I am 100% against troops on the ground. And I'm 100% against America going to war with the Middle East. So, but I mean, so if I say that it's a red line for me, well, what does that mean? Did they attack us and then we had troops on the ground? But like in theory, I am against us having any involvement in any of the Middle East wars directly. I am. So Space Comma Digger says, look at what Dave Rubin just posted. Well, I'm blocked by Dave Rubin. Let me see though. Oh yeah, that's right. But I can pull his tweet up. Let's see. Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin. Okay. All right, let's see here. If Iran goes down and the people rise up, there genuinely could be world peace for many years. Not in some utopia way, but in the real world. New dawn way. Terrorism will no longer be funded, orchestrated, or celebrated by state in a meaningful way. Worldwide jihad and brain broken obsession with Jews and Israel will be left utterly fruitless. The bad guys will have been largely eliminated, and the few left will have no choice but to realize it doesn't work anymore. The Middle East could become a beacon of hope for the rest of the world. No, it won't. No, it won't. This is the same thing we were told about Iraq. We were told that when Saddam Hussein is gone, it'll be like a fucking Disney cartoon from the 80s or 90s. Iraq will just be children playing in the streets, butterflies, happy songs. It'll just be a wonderful time. No, it won't. Good Lord. So anyway, fuck this dude, man. He is the worst. And yes, he does have me blocked. See, Rubin Report has you blocked. So there you go. Wizard Man says, guys, don't buy into this BS. This is the same arguments and justifications they used in the early 2000s. If Trump does it, it is a big disappointment. Fantastic Talk says, Trump to libertarians. Either vote for me or you have your 3%. Lolberts end up keeping their 3%. Yep. That's it. Southeastern Kaiju says, no fan of Miss Lindsay, but he's right about Iran and it's backing terror. organizations in the region. And again, that's true, but like again, it's not, you're not going to fix the problem by a regime change. I don't believe that. I believe that there's just an inherent problem that will never be cured. Because they're never going to be cured of that. That's who they are. So let them do it. We don't have to worry about it. With the argument that Trump has is they don't need to have a nuclear weapon. I do agree with that. But outside of that, I don't care what happens. I don't care about regime changes. I don't care about new leadership. I don't care about this magical, fairy tale that they want to create. Let's listen to this. Bill O'Reilly earlier today very briefly texted with President Trump. Here we go. This is what he said.
Earlier today, very briefly, I texted with President Trump. He doesn't want to use American air power at this point because that would cause some problems with China and Putin. He would rather have the Iranians surrender, which he believes they will. Now, that's what he believes, that the mullahs are through. They will have to sign a deal. The deal will be that the weapons inspectors go in to all of the places that are working on the nuke. They identify what they have. And then the Iranians themselves, under supervision of the United Nations, would destroy a lot of their arsenal. That's what the deal would entail.
Okay.
Mullahs don't want to do that, obviously, but President Trump believes that will happen.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I will say about Trump's belief on that happening is that he's believed that we were going to have a peace deal with Iran and Russia pretty quickly too, and we're still dragging that one out. So, I don't know if I'm not going to take his words at face value that he believes a deal is close. I believe when he says that publicly, I believe that he's saying that with the intention of making the public believe that we're closer than he truly thinks we are. That's based on previous stuff that I've seen. The fact is, if we were close to a peace deal with Iran, we wouldn't be in a war with Iran and Israel. And I know Iran responded to Israel, but I don't know if we're close to a peace deal like Trump's saying we are. I think he's saying it with the intention to keep people calm and everything like that, but I don't necessarily believe that a peace deal is close based on what we've seen. So, I don't know. We'll see. But it is what it is. So, hang on. Saw a comment here. I'm always keeping an eye on the chat. Damn it. There was a comment that I saw. Somebody was saying I'm retarded, which I am, to be fair. I am retarded. Damn it. Oh, well, I missed it. At least you guys know, because I do get accused of not reading the regular chat, and I'm always trying to read the regular chat. I really want to find this comment. Can you guys just stop chatting for like 1 minute, please? Just nobody comment. Okay, never mind. You guys didn't listen. All right, I can't find it. Mad Frog says, it's always been about regime change, not nukes. Remember Kamala and the Democrats talked about closing the chapter on Trump and MAGA. Let's see. Yeah, Kamala, she grew up in a middle-class family as well. Yeah. Imagine a streamer asking just chat to not comment. Like, that's going to work. Oh, yeah. Yes, dumb streamer who makes money by talking. Yeah, we'll just stop chatting. That's never gonna happen. Sir Ruin of House Roundhead says, check out the movie Warfare. It's really good. You will never want to see troops sent to war after seeing that movie. By the way, we're planning on doing the Band of Brothers watch party probably sometime next week for our locals members. So next Thursday is the date that I'm targeting on. So Locals is essentially a Patreon alternative for those that don't know. It's a Patreon alternative. If you become a paid supporter over there, it's $10 a month. You can watch the movie with us and the chat. You can drop memes and picture responses and things like that. The chat is fucking wild over there. So I think next Thursday is what we're going to do. Vault 95 says, raising the mood, which WWE wrestler has the best rack? The best rack? Is it like all time? If we're going all time, Peak Sable was pretty good, bro. Peak Sable was pretty good. Now, if we're talking like, so Lex Luger, the torture rack. Yeah, I'd have to go Peak Sable probably, but Sunny is still the #1 WWF diva. Snake Killer says, MAGA is having a problem with people in our own movement manipulating us. Deception. No one cared when Trump offed General Soleimani. Stay frosty, my friends. I agree with that. But I do think there's a lot of people that voted for Trump at the last second in 2024 that have now turned on Trump. And the media takes full advantage of those people that weren't really true Trump supporters to begin with. But they will then go, hey, so-and-so who's a former Trump voter has now turned on Donald Trump. And then they make a big narrative out of it that Trump is losing people. Eric K says, we can see you never read that good. Replace you with Sweeney and the show will be better. Well, I agree with that, actually. I do. Drift Motive says, I think Tulsi is pretty gorgeous and the surfer body. Yeah, she's pretty hot. John Jones says, the reason Iran is so bad is because of the regime change orchestrated by the CIA and the MI6 in the 50s. Look up Operation Ajax. RDH says, Dave Rubin and Smith are both overrated a-holes. Sola Felix says, like most things, we can thank Obama for this mess. Your Barmy says, retardo. Steve says, who destabilized Iran in the 70s? Answer, CIA. Okay, let's see what's going on now. So right now, hang on. So Bernie Sanders, tonight I introduced legislation to stop Trump from leading us into another illegal war with Iran. Another war in the Middle East could cost countless lives, waste trillions of more dollars, and lead more deaths, more conflict, and more displacement. Don't forget that I cucked for Hillary Clinton after she stole my nomination. I literally bent over. I grabbed my ankles and let Hillary hit me with a strap-on. But it was all to stop Donald Trump. Fucking loser. I never knew I could do a Bernie impersonation before. Literally, that's the first time I've ever fucking done that. That's the first time. I did not know I could do that. I think it was good. But I don't know. It sounded pretty good. But that's the first time I've ever done that. Whew. That was wild. Okay, let's hear what they have to say right here about this situation.
We greenlit the operation. Obviously, we're intercepting all the missiles that Iran's sending over, and we have shared intelligence and are doing refueling flights. The question is, how much more involved are we going to get? And so a few scenarios. One, if the Iranians attack U.S. assets, we'll have to get involved. The question is whether we're going to give or use bunker busting bombs to completely eliminate the Iranian nuclear program, or if we'll authorize regime change strikes against the leadership. And I think the balance that Trump's trying to strike is you can't allow the Iranians to have a nuclear weapon. It's been almost 100 years of U.S. policy, non-proliferation. You can't get blackmailed by rogue states. But also, you can't have regime change wars, and those have unintended consequences. So if you were to have a decapitation strike against the Iranian leadership, what comes next? Because it's a theocracy, and you have 30,000 radical Muslim clerics that are still there. You can't kill all of them. So does it break down into militia factions where they all just kill each other? Do we install somebody? Do people come from all over the region with guns? Is there an insurgency? No one knows. And so the Israelis have their own agenda. They want this guy gone. Now, does that agenda jive with our agenda?
What is the Israelis' agenda? Could this be their agenda right here?
No, Sam, that's not how we do it. Let me show you how we take care of the creatures. Let me show you how we take care of the creatures. Go, Rita! Get up! Get up! Rita! That's
What is happening right there? Holy shit.
Maybe not, because they're not going to be the ones to manage the chaos. We're going to have to manage the chaos, and they know that, and that's fine. But we've already overthrown an Iranian leader before. We installed the Shah, and he was a great ally for many years, and he pumped oil, and he was fantastic against the Soviets, but he was so unpopular, he was overthrown by these even more fundamental radical people who we're still dealing with today. The big question is the Iranian nuke deal still possible? Now, the Israelis say no. They call them fake talks. They think they're going nowhere and we're getting strung along. Donald Trump disagrees. He thinks there can be a deal that is put together. And at this point, the Iranians have no leverage. And so it looks like they're kind of begging to come back to the negotiating table. And Donald Trump isn't ready to do the deal yet. I think he's going to let the Israeli military continue to soften up Iranian targets as they finally limp back to the negotiation table and swear off enrichment. And that would be a great outcome if they swear off enrichment. But I don't know if that's even possible because the Iranians saw what happened to Gaddafi. Remember, after Saddam was toppled, Gaddafi was like, all right, we'll get rid of the nukes. And the next thing you know, Hillary and the Europeans came in and took him out. So very delicate situation. The next couple of days will be pretty serious.
And if you haven't seen the latest update, so the latest update is that President Trump has told the National Security Council to be at the White House Situation Room when he arrives tonight. That'll be at around 2 or 3 a.m. at the earliest. And he has left the G7 summit early and returning to D.C. per CBS. This is after he said to evacuate Tehran immediately. So, as I've said, I believe that the majority of stuff that you're hearing from President Trump is basically, I think that the main thing that we're hearing from Trump is he's trying to negotiate, and he's trying to negotiate from a perspective of strength, and he's trying to do it with a certain posture. That's what I believe. Now, could I be wrong or not? Of course I could be wrong, but I'm just looking at it for what it is right there. And I think that he is using this for negotiation purposes. But I that's just me looking at it from the outside and thinking about it from his perspective and historically how he handles these situations. So time will tell. It's going to get ugly though. There's a lot of videos out there. I saw there was like videos of people saying that people there's like this massive traffic jam of people that are trying to get out of Tehran. I don't know if that video is accurate or not, but it's been going around. And I'm trying to see if I can find that video right now and I'll show it to you guys. It was going around. Many people were saying this was happening. I'm sure Drama Alert probably fucking tweeted it. Let me see. Drama Alert right here. Actually, of course Drama Alert tweeted it. Of course they did. So right here, mass exodus of people fleeing Tehran, Iran after Trump warned to evacuate immediately. Now, is that true or not? I don't know. I mean, this could just be a traffic jam for all I know. You know what I mean? Like, you could do the same thing in LA. Where you're like, people are evacuating LA. So I don't know if this is true or not. I'm assuming this is Tehran. I have no idea. Heard that was old, but not sure. Yeah, and that's the thing right now with social media. Shit is just crazy, dude. So I don't know. Don't know if that's real or not. Okay, got that one. Let me check Bricks News real quick, see what they're saying. Okay, we got the senators. Of course, we got the betting market. The betting market now is up 69. Hey, 69. Percent chance that the U.S. takes military action against Iran, according to Polymarket. So now the betting market is involved. How fucked are we when we have the betting market? Like, you know, put me down for 100 that we're going to go to war. Like, it's so weird, man. It's so weird that this is a thing. D-Day coverage, you pre-ordered the Trump phone yet? No. I mean, look, if I saw that there's like the Trump phone, I have been an Android user, specifically the Note, which I guess it's not called the Note anymore because they moved away from it. It is the Note. But I've been happy with my Note forever. I've used the Note since all the way back to the Note 2, I think, the Note 2. So I'm not really interested in a new phone per se, but I'm glad that they're getting into the market. But here, let me see if I can find this. So Trump Mobile, isn't that what it's called? Trump Mobile. They've got a pretty good plan too. I think Pirate Nation put something out earlier about it. So you got Trump Mobile right here. The Trump Mobile announcement. And I want to say Pirate Nation. Let's see. Pirate Nation. Pretty sure that they tweeted out about all the details of it. If I can find it. Okay, yeah, here it is. So here's the details on it. 6.8 inch screen or 6.8 display. So it's got pretty good statistics on it and everything, but I'm not interested in it. I mean, I hope it does well, but just because it's Trump, I'm not just going to jump on the name. If I was not happy, if I had to choose between this and an iPhone, I would take this all day long. But luckily I have Samsung phones. But I think it's an Android. I think they're using Android operating system. Yeah, right here. They're using Android operating system. So, and it's got a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. That's something most smartphones do not have. So the fact that it's got a headphone jack is actually cool. But yeah, as long as I've got my Samsung phones, I'm good. But I'm glad they're in the market, and I hope it does well. But we'll see how it works out. We'll see how it works out. I'm sure it'll take some time for them to establish themselves, but we'll see. Okay. Let me get back over here. Grover Pearson says Israeli defense ministry is located in Tel Aviv. Trump is moving the embassy to Jerusalem. Was a chess move to have us avoid involvement. Our embassy in Tel Aviv would have already been hit. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. There's the internet is full of a lot of like the anti-Israel stuff is so bad that it's almost like annoying at this point because so many people want you on their team. It's just like, I can't stand that narrative. Like, if you're not a Trump supporter, then that's fine. I don't need you to be a Trump supporter. I'm not trying to force you to be a Trump supporter. It comes off as like it's just like sports, man. We all have that friend who has he's a fan of a sports team. And it's like, just because you are an obnoxious fan of this team that I don't really care about, I just instantly don't like that team, or vice versa. We all have that friend who just won't shut the fuck up about this team or this player. And it's not because you have anything against the team or the player. It's because your friend that you have a direct relationship with You just were like, dude, I'm cheering against them just in spite of you at this point. That's kind of how I feel about the anti-Israel stuff, is like, you are so obnoxious to the point where you're making me sympathetic to them because you're so fucking obnoxious. You know, I'll still obviously criticize their garbage prime minister, but yeah, like, I don't like when people need you to be on their team. Like, I don't like that. It's a very insecure approach where people are like, I need you to agree with me, Jeremy. You're finally waking up, Jeremy. You're finally seeing the truth for what it is. No, that means that I'm finally saying something that you agree with. That's what that means when someone says that to you, is you're finally saying something that I agree with. And my mindset is always like, don't follow me because you agree with me. Follow me because you like my takes on things, whether you agree with them or you don't agree with them. But don't follow me just because you need someone to agree with, because eventually I'm going to say something that you don't agree with. And you're going to have to go find another, low tier YouTuber to find that agrees with you. It's a really weird dynamic. So I don't like having emotionally weak people to follow me to go, you're finally waking up. Then I will intentionally start doing the very thing that you claim I'm waking up. I will do the opposite just to make sure that I'm no longer waking up. It's fucking retarded. Fantastic Knox says, was that TV smashing a new Psycho Dad series? That's old school YouTube right there. Hardy Boys says, Trump just wanted a reason to get away from Canada. That's probably true. That's probably true. Freeman Die Free says, George W. Trump, the neocon strikes back. Steve says, Dan Vask has his bunker busted all the time. The Spy Who Shagged Me says, every poll overwhelmingly shows Trump supporters do not want to be dragged into any conflict and have Israel fatigue. Well, yeah, I mean, I did a poll here on this channel, and 89% said they do not want a war. And I agree with that. I don't want to be involved in a war either. And that follows the Charlie Kirk poll, where he had over 500,000 votes, and he has a strong MAGA following, and his was 90% said, no, we do not want to be involved in this war. And I think that's the majority of MAGA does not want any involvement in it. Eric says, I never agree with you. I only agree with Jay. That's the way it should be. Horror Amarana says, I keep watching you, even though half the time I'm yelling at the TV. That's the type of viewer I need right there. Warren Smith says, I unsub from you at least 500 times this month. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's the same thing. Like that type of mindset, that's how I work with, the pop culture side, or the sports or the politics, because I cover so much shit. And the one thing I'll never do is I'll never be bullied by the internet to do or not do something. All that happens is I tend to want to do the opposite of what people tell me I can't do. That's just how I operate. So like when people were complaining about the Switch 2, they're like, just because of you, they're going to keep doing it. So I was like, the wall just got 10 feet taller. I just bought more Switches just because of your complaint. Because that's the only way you can do it. If you're mad, put on a cape and get super mad. Rob says, I have been on board since Toontown Brawl. No agreement necessary. Let's go. I said that too back when I didn't go see Solo, a Star Wars story. I told people, I was like, I have no power over how you spend your money. Nobody should have power over how you spend your money. You should be able to spend your money however you want. So if you are upset that I'm not going to see Solo, I would encourage you to go see it twice to offset me not going to see it. That's what because I don't care how people spend their money or their time. I don't give a shit. But I appreciate the ones that decide to hang out here with me. Lying Dog Face Pony Soldier with a gift of membership. Thank you. Solo Felix says, other than Adam Krigler, any white people in, I don't even know where that's at. Hell if I know. Lying Dog Face Pony Soldiers dropped 20 gifted memberships. What? Usually you drop one and that's it. By the way, all right, somebody said it in the chat. You did the one thing you can't do in my chat. You criticized Interstellar. Get out. You get banned if you criticize Interstellar. I need everybody to tell me my movie opinions are the best movie opinions. Criticize Interstellar, you're done. Banned forever. Deported immediately. Thank you, Lying Dog Face Pony Soldier, with the gifted membership. 21. All right, to be fair. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. Polite Rude Guy says, if it comes down to it, I will side with Israel. Jimmy Ray says, you should stop giving gifted memberships. Oh, my God. Arn you gotten? Shout out to the 199. That's a hell of a name right there. That's a hell of a name. I prefer The Dark Knight. I mean, I'm a huge Nolan fan. However, I do feel that Nolan might be the Odyssey is going to be a very tough one for him to manage because of the fact that he put Ellen Page in the movie. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. I like this from Mays right here. President Trump will do what he believes is best for America and best for the world. The people claiming he is owned or being influenced to do something that he does not want to do is out of their minds. He's a 79-year-old billionaire. He had already been president and has every warmonger in Washington pushing him to start a war. He didn't. He's not up for re-election. He's not making decisions based on what a talk show host or some foreign leader wants. Trump does what he believes is right. Israel is not bossing him around. If you believe that they are, then you are a fool. Trump has a record of peace. There is zero reason to think that he is trying to start a war or put Americans at risk. He has strategically struck Iran before, and it worked out fine. The amount of panic and conjecture being spread right now is absolutely insane. Well said. Absolutely well said. That's perfectly well said. And that's kind of sums up where I'm at with the whole thing as, I 1000%, there ain't nobody in charge of President Trump but President Trump. That's just the truth. Doesn't mean you have to believe it, but it's what I believe. I think that this is a lot of people on social media seem to think that this is an easy thing to deal with, and this is not an easy situation to deal with. This is a very complicated situation with complicated circumstances, and a lot of lives can be affected by whatever decisions President Trump makes right now, and he is very aware of that, and I'm sure that he takes that very seriously, and he takes that to heart. And even though, I mean, obviously American lives are his number one priority, but I'm sure that President Trump doesn't want anyone to die. And so he's trying his best to be, there's a reason that Trump went through everything he went through after his first term. He started no new wars in his first term. He made historic peace deals in his first term. He is now more popular than he's ever been right now. And the world is exploding with the warmongers desperate for a war. They are desperate. And they did everything in their power to keep this man from getting back in office. They did everything. They attacked him. They raided his home. They arrested him. They shot at him. They attacked his family. They attacked his businesses. And none of it fucking stopped him. The warmongers want war more than anything in the world. And he's the one guy that's trying to stop it from going, breaking out all over the place. That's not an easy thing for one man, regardless if it's Trump. He's still a human being. He's still just a flawed man who's one man with a great administration behind him, but he is trying to keep so many things from exploding right now. And it's not easy. It's easy to get on Twitter and make a tweet about it, but it ain't easy to actually be in his shoes right now and have to deal with all of this stuff. So that's a very good comment right there from Mays. I agree completely. Oh, I see quartering screenshot of Dave Rubin's tweet. Yeah. Yep. Where have we heard this before? Guys, we just have to get rid of Saddam Hussein. Everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be great. We just need Saddam gone. Birds will be chirping. Everything will be wonderful in Iraq. It's going to be a utopia of butterflies and It's going to be great. I don't even know what's going on in Iraq now. I know like it was terrible. I don't know what's going on in Iraq these days. But I don't know. Anybody from Iraq watching right now? How's the weather in Iraq these days? How's the weather in Iraq? I'm trying to see. Quartering sucks. I like the quartering, as I've said many times. I like Jeremy. Jeremy from the quartering has always been nice to me. He's always had my back. I would consider us friends, but we're friendly. And if I've ever needed for anything from him, he's always been cool with me. I can't really watch his videos because it's like if he uploads like a 10-minute video, you'll get maybe a 2 minutes of content and 88 minutes of like ads. So it got to the point where I was just like, yeah, I don't want to hear you talk about fucking coffee or your latest ad for that's going to get you thousands of dollars. Like I just wanted to hear about the content that you're offering. So I can't watch his videos anymore, but I do like him. He's a good dude though. Genuinely a good dude. And he's actually helped a ton of YouTubers out. He's helped get a lot of people's channels back. And I can tell you for a fact that he's gone out of his way on many of occasions, even when he didn't get credit for it. That is 100%. Let's see. I don't care what they have to say. I don't care what they have to say. Jeremy just wants some coffee brand coffee. No, me and Quartering talked about like me doing that. And I just like, you can't afford me, bro. You can't afford me. So I'm looking for more. Oh, by the way, so this is the most Trump thing ever right here. Look at this shit. I got to find it real quick. ALX. Let me see what ALX tweeted. Yeah, we were talking about like making coffee brand coffee like a sponsor for Geeks and Gamers. And I was like, right here. Okay. So this is Trump. Look at this. Okay. So Trump is standing here in Canada with these world leaders. And what does he say? He says, we had a parade the other day. They said 100% chance of rain. It didn't rain. All he's doing is bragging about how the weather people were wrong. This dude is so fucking funny, dude. Like, that's all Trump cares about is just bragging, you know? Oh, God, like right here. So here he is talking about the weather.
With a tremendous success with a fantastic audience. It was supposed to rain. They gave it a 100% chance of rain, and it didn't rain at all. It was beautiful. And so I asked if they gave it 100% chance, right? 100% it was going to rain like crazy, and it didn't rain at all. How do they predict 100 years out and 50 years out or 200 years out? They didn't do too well, the weather people, last night, but it was beautiful.
It's just so weird, dude. Do you remember let's see. Do you remember that yeah, here it is. Do you guys remember this clip right here from Trump? Hang on. You remember this clip right here?
The people of India are going crazy that President Obama was constantly chewing gum. And then on top of that, he took it out of his mouth, put it back. You can't do it. It's disgusting.
The people of India. The people of India.
The people of India are going crazy that President Obama was constantly chewing gum. And then on top of that, he took it out of his mouth, put it back. You can't do it. It's disgusting.
What a great clip, dude. Oh, shit. Hot Fart Fernando says, can we get live war footage from Jay and Krista while they walk around Epic Universe? Olympian Product says, I'll watch Jeremy for the alphabet people representation. Hail the 199. Mitchell Field says, I'm not saying bacon is the cure for world peace, but the places that eat it are the most peaceful. Look at the Middle East and our cities full of vegans and shit. You're not wrong. You're actually not wrong about that. So I don't disagree. Let's see. Crew Kid says, saw the Interstellar re-release back in December. A fucking as fucking spectacular as I remembered. Makes me weep every time. Yes. My favorite movie of all time. It's probably never going to be dethroned. And seeing it in IMAX is like a religious experience, man. It really is. Chartart says, honestly, I like the Switch 2, but I'm not buying it for those prices. Hope the first wave of orders fall off and they're forced to do a price drop. I got bad news for you, buddy. The Switch 2 broke every record known to man. And it's not slowing down. So that's not happening, unfortunately. So yeah, Switch 2 broke every record. And they can't even keep them in stores. So it ain't dropping ever. Polite Rue Guy says, Trump 2028, please run again, sir. Absolutely. Aaron Adams says, Interstellar sucks 199. Sergey says, I heard Israel is prepping to attack. So Iran. Navy EMT says, Jeremy, I've been a fan since I had you challenge me on my enjoyment of Disney Star Wars animation at MegaCon. You kept it real. Thank you. Hey, man, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, I've met a few people that, like, sometimes they'll tell me that they disagree or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's always an honor that people have been following for so long, and people like that from the Geeks and Gamers channel to Sports Wars to Park Hoppin' to here to all of that. It's been awesome, to say the least. So I appreciate all of you, longtime and newer viewers. As a matter of fact, check this out. This channel, I don't know how much content I've given our good boy, good buddy Danky tonight, but D-Day Cobra 2 is popping off, man. Videos have been crushing. So you see here, we had 147,000 views right there, 45,000 views, 19,000, 167,000 views. So this channel's been doing really good. And essentially what Danky does is he uploads clips from my live streams over to this channel for more individual uploads. So our boy Danky is crushing it over there. So shout out to him, man. I appreciate all the work that he's doing right now. And thank you to everybody who's been supporting that channel. It's been good stuff. Okay, where are we at? Looking for some updates. What is this? Oh, is this Trump leaving early? Hang on. What does he say right here?
Why are you leaving the G7 early for Washington?
Well, I have to be back. Very important. I want to just thank our great host. You did a fantastic job. Thank you in Canada. But you probably see what I see. And I have to be back as soon as I can and have dinner with these wonderful leaders. And then I get on the plane. I have to be back early. I loved it. I tell you, I loved it. And I think we got a lot done. Really a lot done. In fact, UK, we signed a big trade deal today, and we're working on others. But we had just a really great relationship with everybody.
I really like. Let's see. This is in Alberta, right? Calgary. Is this Alberta? Because it's stunning. Like, it is. The visual is absolutely stunning. I want to go to Canada just to visit, but I want to go to like the Alberta area. Is that where they're at though? Yes. Is it Alberta? It is gorgeous, man. It really is. Canada, like, I've never been, but I've heard that it's beautiful there, and I've seen like all the imagery and stuff like that. So, all right. Looking to see if there's any more. Hart Ponder says, I think people forget Trump fights like a mob boss. He'll hit you so hard and fast using anything at his disposal that no war is going to start in the first place. He's not there to spread democracy. This is true, man, and he's smart and strategic with the way that he goes about this. He is very smart and strategic because, as we've seen plenty of time, like, I mean, he popped back at Tucker Carlson just now, but he didn't pop back at Elon. And I think that he knew that popping back at Elon was not going to be helpful to anything or anyone. And I do genuinely think he was probably hurt by the, I think it actually hurt him more than anything. So, but he obviously did not pop back at Elon, and he normally pops back at everyone. So, let's see here. We've got, let's see, Fanatic Juggler TV becomes a new member. Thank you so much. Axiom says, Interstellar made me tear up at launch and the wormhole. Yeah, I mean, like I said, with Interstellar, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying you can't appreciate it if you're not a father, but I do think as a father, it hits you on a different level. That's why, like, from an emotional standpoint, on a, from purely subjective standpoint, that's why it works for me on many different levels. Fantastic Mr. Knox says, I got to watch Reagan on Netflix. Reminds me a lot of Trump and how he was treated as nothing but a joke to be taken seriously. Was a good film. Is that the one with, trying to remember his name now. Who played Reagan in that movie? Chad will tell me in a minute. Donald Herb says, Panikin makes me think of Anakin Skywalker. Lying Dog Face Pony Soldier says, new viewers, welcome to the 199, the best chat on the internet. That's after dropping 20 gifted memberships. That's right. Dennis Quaid was in it. That's right. I haven't seen it, but Dennis Quaid, he's a great actor. Thank you again, Lying Dog Face Pony Soldier, for all the gifted memberships. Appreciate you. Slaying Hope says, the Warhawks want people to forget that our mighty U.S. military lost to shepherds who used World War II surplus weapons and had no air force. Iran will be tougher. The Warhawks are out there, and they're chomping at the bit, man. It's really, really, really sad that these people are still in power in any capacity whatsoever. And I despise all of them. I really wish, like, how is Lindsey Graham still, how does he still have a position in politics? How is this even possible? But again, Ilhan Omar has office. So, I mean, AOC, it's really crazy. But I don't know. I don't know a single person that likes Lindsey Graham. I don't like any person. There's not a human being on this planet that I know that actually likes Lindsey Graham. I mean, who? Name it. Tell me right now. I don't think anybody can name it. I don't think anybody knows anyone that like, he's just terrible. Like, does anyone in this chat, do you know anyone in your real life that genuinely likes Lindsey Graham? Because I can't think of a person I know. Sad but true. Let's see here. Got that. Oh, by the way, did you guys see this? So, breaking news. Not really. I'm being sarcastic when I say that. Sean Penn is still alive. That's right. Sean Penn is still alive, and he was on with Bill Maher to discuss President Trump.
I have not been invited. The only reason I would not accept an invitation is because I see no, it's a long flight. And I see no,
really? You'll meet with fucking
I don't think
Castro and Hugo Chavez, but not the president of the United States?
Yeah, I see no.
What is he wearing? What is he wearing? Like, his shoes look like they have toilet paper on them or something. I don't even understand, but I appreciate that Bill Maher calls him out.
It's a long flight. I see no.
Really? You'll meet with fucking
I don't think that I
Castro
would-
and Hugo Chavez, but not the president of the United States?
Yeah, I saw good results come out of some of those things in terms of
You do realize
agendas
the
that I had. I don't think that there's anything that I would. I just personally
know.
wouldn't trust anything that was said in the room, including the personality.
It's not a matter of trusting it. It's a matter of seeing it, matter of experiencing, matter of knowing it.
Yeah, it's an
more
interesting-
knowledge. It's like saying I don't want this medical test because I don't want to know. I want to know.
Yeah,
I want to. Okay.
Fair
so
enough.
yeah, I mean,
I have some good friends that are. On
I said this many times within the
close to
piece when I did it, that like it's up to. I'm just giving you the report. It's up to you to make the decision. Who do you think is the real guy? I'm telling you, there's a very different guy behind closed doors in a different setting. Now,
or
capable
of performatively seeing that. Yeah.
Well, one of the my my friends who believe in astrology would say he's a Gemini. Of course, there's two of them. Okay, that's one way to look at it. Other people will say, well, the real guy is the guy you met, and he's playing this clown on TV. And other people will say the reverse. He's well. I mean, it seems harder to
you. This is where Trump, the ability for Donald Trump to break so many people's brains should be studied one day. It really is astonishing that he is able to break so many people's brains. Now, Bill Maher has had a private conversation with Donald Trump. I don't like Bill Maher. I'm not going to tell you Bill Maher is a stupid man. I think Bill Maher is a very intelligent person who has horrifically terrible opinions on things. But for him to not understand how this works, like Donald Trump, to be who Donald Trump has been for the entirety of all of our lives, he's now, 79 years old. For Donald Trump to be 79 years old, and he has been, at least from maybe, I guess, his early 30s, I don't remember, he's been famous for my entire life. And for people to not understand that this guy is a very smart, articulate person that is phenomenal at what he does. And yes, publicly, he plays it up to a certain level. He doesn't let people see the real him publicly, because why would he? He knows when to have, level-headed discussions and appear in a different tone and a different setting. But publicly, he doesn't let them have anything. He doesn't let the media have anything that he doesn't want them to have.
do the reverse. I mean, can you really pretend to be sane? You can pretend to be insane. I think it's harder to pretend to be sane, to be measured, and like all the things I said, which is just what happened. So again, there's three parts of this. Would you go to the dinner? I think you're crazy not to want to see up close the person who's this important in everybody's lives for the last decade.
I
Two, are you
completely
going?
understand that.
Two, are you going to lie about it? I'm sorry, I'm not a liar. I don't lie, so I told the truth. And then three, do I go back to doing what I always did? Yes, I did.
Yeah, but you could have told more truth, or you could have told less truth.
I told
I'm
a
just
lot of
saying,
truth. I told
would have
everything.
I would have enjoyed a little more brevity on that, but I absolutely understand the
But
dinner.
that's just emotional. You were just triggered.
It's possible. It's possible. It's true that.
But I
for
would
some
like to.
reason this particular president triggers me rather often.
Exactly. He makes people crazy, but he's not making me crazy. But so you really wouldn't go?
No, I don't. I'm not saying I think
You should go.
I wouldn't, because let me put it this way: what I know I would not do.
Especially, he's very.
I would not go. Let's say, so for example, when we talk about this very different president of Uruguay.
How old is Sean Penn right now? Somebody said he's like 87. There ain't no way he's 87. There's no way. How old is Sean Penn? Sean Penn, great actor, but a nut. Oh, he's a phenomenal actor. 103. God, now I've got like, why ask the chat? The chat's just giving me like every fucking weird number in the world. Now I got to look it up. Sean Penn H. Chat's just giving every freaking number possible. He's only 64? Dude. Sean Penn has not aged well. Holy shit.
There were things that Uruguay had models of in development that could be very helpful to Haiti. And I went to see if we could get some training from them and so on and so forth, which we did. And whereas if I were, let's say, representing a cause celeb, say it was Ukraine, say it was whatever it was, I would not fool myself that I was going to get anywhere with him. I know that I wouldn't. I know that I would have no influence.
Bad attitude. You don't know that. You don't know anything. He's a guy who frequently seems to go by what the last thing he heard was. He's I'll tell you this about Donald Trump, and you don't know it because you don't go to dinners. It's all about.
I didn't go to dinner with President Trump. That's true.
You should. It's all about personal relationships.
I've not been invited.
Okay, I will get you an invite. He's a star fucker in a way. I bet you he would like to meet you. And you would have
he'll see the show. He says, if I see him, they're going to call me a star.
I don't think he watches the podcast. He does watch the show. He's a faithful viewer.
He's got people that do his thing. Dan Bongino would be knocking on your door if you didn't go to dinner.
That's not why I did it. And it could work out the other way. You don't know. He's very unpredictable. And
I have not been in.
It's a weird dynamic with Sean Penn here. So I do think it's interesting that Bill Maher kind of actually called him out. Like you literally sat and met with Castro, but you're not going to sit and talk with Trump. Sean Penn is a very stupid person. I don't know how many of you are aware of how nutty he is. He is a complete nut job. He is a phenomenal actor. And he's had some great roles over the years, but he is a nut job. And I don't feel that he's all there at this point in time. I feel like he's completely gone. I feel like his brain is fried. Slain Hope says the Warhawks want people to forget that our mighty U.S. military lost the shepherds who used war. Oh, yeah, I got that one earlier. Wait, oh, no, it didn't. Surplus weapons and had no air force. Iran will be tougher. Yeah, I think I did read that one earlier. Let's see. Fanatic Juggler says, hey, Jeremy, I've been watching since 2020. I have faith that President Trump will do the right thing. All hail the 199 Trump 2028 LFG. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Commodore fan says, I'm from South Carolina, and Graham stays in power because of the old people voting party lines, and we've had no one strong to run against him for years now. Also, my nonprofit work of 20 years that gets some government funds. I met Graham twice. Both times he seemed uncaring and condescending to me. That's good information. I appreciate that. Well, thanks for the work you're doing, brother. Solo Felix says the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, Sean Penn was safely on his luxury yacht, virtue signaling. He also said Iraq was a paradise under Saddam Hussein. Did he say that? That wouldn't surprise me if he said that. But yeah, I mean, he's been kind of a nut job for a while, actually. What is this? Mays just tweeted this out. Here's a quick history lesson for everyone who has suddenly lost faith in President Trump's judgment and desire for peace. June 2019, Iran shoots down an unmanned U.S. drone. Bolton, Pompeo, Pence, and many other Washington warmongers pushed Trump to authorize a retaliatory strike. It was estimated that about 150 Iranians would be killed. At the last moment, Trump called off the strike. Listen to him explain why.
Up first in a busy hour, a high-stakes confrontation that came within minutes of becoming a higher-stakes conflict. President Trump gave the go order Thursday for strikes targeting Iranian missile batteries and radar installations. And then, with just minutes to spare, he aborted the mission. The president says he decided in the end it was not proportional.
Everybody was saying I'm a warmonger, and now they say I'm a dove.
That's the most Trump answer ever. And this is exactly what's going to happen now All these people that are calling him a fucking warmonger they're gonna do the same thing.
It was not proportional.
Everybody was saying I'm a warmonger, and now they say I'm a dove. And I think I'm neither. You want to know the truth? I'm a man with common sense, and that's what we need in this country is common sense. But I didn't like the idea of them knowingly shooting down an unmanned drone, and then we kill 150 people. I didn't like that.
Now, we know the president's top national security advisors favored the targeted strikes, and those competing views are on public display today. In his remarks to reporters yesterday, the president said he was confident sanctions against Iran were working, even held out hope they would eventually come back to the bargaining table to negotiate a new nuclear deal. But in Israel today, listen here, the Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton striking a more hawkish tone.
Neither Iran nor any other hostile actor should mistake U.S. prudence and discretion for weakness. No one has granted them a hunting license in the Middle East. And as he made clear yesterday, referring to his earlier remarks, the president said, I just stopped the strike from going forward at this time.
And so when you watch this play out, especially, it's a known fact that the Secretary of State, the National Security Advisor, the Vice President told the president they thought this was a good plan, targeted strikes. They said, go for it. The president pulls back. You have a Republican Party. Imagine if President Obama had done this. Well, President Obama did not enforce his red line in Syria, for example, and the Republicans were harshly critical, saying you make America look weak. Listen to one Republican here. We know how hawkish she is in her heart. Liz Cheney, the daughter of the former Vice President Dick Cheney.
If, Iran thinks that it can demonstrate to the world that somehow it's able to take advantage of the United States, that it's able to attack and destroy one of our drones without any consequence or with the...
I don't even want to hear from her. But it is interesting to go back to this far back and hearing Trump basically address that. So again, man, if you're a Trump supporter, if you've been a Trump supporter, I would say the best play is to trust the person that you've been supporting for all of this time. Give him time. It's a very complicated and complex situation, and he has never shown he's never shown any clue that he's anything like these clowns that have been in power and the warmongers of Washington. He's never shown that. So we'll give it time. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. Valiant Renegade for 10 says Sean Penn was not acting when he played Spicoli and Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That is true. That is 100% true. What's up, Valiant Renegade? BF says Russ Cole is a better character than Coop. I actually don't disagree with that. Rust Cole was, again, I think True Detective season 1 might be the best season of television I've ever seen. So if you have not seen True Detective season 1, I would highly recommend it. I think it might be the best single season of television ever made. It is that good. Star Wars: The Stripes of Sean Penn always goes full retard. Don't watch it after season 1. Yeah, I mean, the only reason to watch it after season 1, let's see. True Detective. What's her name? What's the girl's name that was in season 2, I think? Rachel McAdams. I'll show you one. There's only one reason to watch. There's only one, and you don't have to watch the whole thing. All right? This is the only reason you would need to watch True Detective with Rachel McAdams. And it's this scene right here. That's the only, that scene is the only reason you need to watch it. Rachel McAdams, that shot right there. You're welcome. I just saved you watching an entire season right there with that shot. So there you go. You're welcome, chat. You are welcome. There you go. That's literally the only thing I know about True Detective beyond season 1 is that shot right there. I remember watching that and I'm like, okay. This is interesting. That's all we need to know. What is this? Uh-oh. Look at here. Don't tell me President Trump does not listen to his base. Are you ready for this one? Breaking news. Trump administration has reversed their guidance exempting farms and hotels from immigration raids per the Washington Post. They're all going back. All of these people that have been crying, I've spent this whole stream saying, please stay calm. Please let Trump cook. Please just quit reacting to every piece of social media news that you see. Just give it time and let the man cook. Simple as that. And now everybody's reporting on it. So you got Disclosed TV. Trump officials reverse guidance and exemptions on farms and hotels from immigration raids. So now it's all over the place. So let Trump cook. That simple. Robot Boop says, shout out to the 199. Thank you for the $5. Appreciate that. Let's see here. That wasn't social media news, though. He said it. No, but like people are like, he abandoned you. He abandoned the voter. He doesn't care about you. And it's like, oh my God, dude. Seriously? Like, Trump said something, his base responded, and he goes, okay, you guys are right. I probably shouldn't have done that. So it's about the people saying that Donald Trump is abandoning his voter. Donald Trump has stabbed you all in the back. That's the social media noise that I'm like, don't let these people like get you all worked up over dumb shit. Just complain, but you don't have to say he abandoned it and all of that. He's winging it. Yes, Bennis. Have you ever paid attention to President Trump? That's literally what he does. He responds to a situation. He doesn't wing everything, but yeah, he does wing certain things. He hears the feedback. He takes that into consideration, and he course corrects. That's what a good leader does. That's what a good leader does. But you have panicans. You have panicans that are. Why would he say that? Well, he would say that because if you go into the details of why he said it, he said he wanted ICE to focus on the cities because that's where the dangerous illegal immigrants are. So he said he wanted to put the resources. Now, I think that's a very valid reason to go about it, but he did run on mass deportation. So his base responded negatively to that news. So then he said, okay, fine. Let's go ahead and just make sure we're getting everyone because the people are unhappy about it. Matt Frog says, without crying, does he change his mind? We need to keep the pressure against this war stuff too. Probably not. And I think that he's aware of the negativity that he's facing right now about the war stuff. And I'm glad that so many people are pushing back. That's why I said, like, what Tucker Carlson is doing is nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with what Tucker Carlson's doing. And the bottom line is regardless of Trump wants to call Tucker names and all of that, he's now aware of Tucker Carlson's criticisms. And I think that's a good thing. So I'm very happy that that MAGA is continuing to hold President Trump accountable. John freaking Murdoch for 50. Sorry, Jeremy, didn't notice your stream until 2 hours after you started. Missed you over the weekend, bro. Hey, thank you, man. Well, it was a Saturday. I was live Saturday. Was Saturday the day I did like the 9-hour, 10-hour stream or whatever? But Sunday I did not go live because it was Father's Day. And so I spent some time with family. And, but yep, here we are back on a Monday. Thank you, John freaking Murdoch. Axel Jensen for 10 says, let's freaking go. Get him out. Let's see. Black Kane says, you get to see Alexandria Dadarios, TTs in True Detective Season 1. Yes, you do. Minecraft, which is another reason why it's the best season of television ever. Minecraft Mazda says, Jeremy, can you fix my PS5? Need to play Warframe. No. You should buy a Switch too. That's what you should do. By the way, I've been playing, I've been trying to catch up on Mario Kart World. I got to say, the more time I spend with that game, the more I love it. We're going to talk about it on Main Event, but I can't wait for Wednesday, which is our Mario Kart stream. The more time I spend with that game, the more I love it. That game is freaking great. Freaking great. Yeah, I'm loving it. Nintendo definitely knocked it out of the park with that one. So I'm loving it. Wednesday night. It's so damn good. It's a little bit of a learning curve to it. Y'all all Nintendo players? I mean, I am, and a lot of people on the team are. So, but a lot of people hate Nintendo, and a lot of people love Nintendo because that's how the world turns. But yeah, Mario Kart World is great. Did we cover Tucker v. Trump? Yes, I talked about it earlier. And I have no problem with anything Tucker has said about President Trump. I think his criticisms are valid, and I think Trump needs to hear them. So yeah, I really didn't have any issue with it at all. Let's see here. See if there's any new updates real quick. China warns of dangerous escalation in the Middle East and calls for peace between Iran and Israel. Really? China calling for peace between Iran and Israel? Huh. That's interesting. Let's see here. What is this? This is great. What is this?
It does not have the commitment of the American people. You have to bring the American people. The American people are not there to get into another war right now.
And why is the Congress not actively debating this? There's one person. Marjorie Taylor Greene is like the only. Oh, and now Levin says this morning she's not MAGA. Okay, all right, now we're really in the last scene of Animal Farm.
No, she's just some tiny congressman from rural Georgia.
She's just some liberal from suburban Atlanta. I mean, it's also mind bending, and I have to say, the level of unanimity, the sort of instantaneous response from 535 members of Congress that we're going to do this one thing, no debate. Anyone who says otherwise is evil.
It does not have the commitment.
Yeah, I really have no problem with Tucker. I have no problem with his criticisms of Trump, and I think that he ultimately wants peace. He's been asking for peace, and that's his primary goal. He doesn't want to see Trump dragged into another Middle Eastern conflict like other presidents have. I think that's a fair point. I think Trump should absolutely listen to Tucker's criticisms and take that into consideration. And I hope that they don't have some big blow up over it. But I mean, Trump's already kind of gone after Tucker. So we'll see. Let's see. Thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. I think you were the one asking about Nintendo. So if you want to see my gaming streams, I have my gaming channel, D-Day Cobra Gaming. And then as a team, the Geeks and Gamers crew, we play every Wednesday on Geeks and Gamers Play. So every Wednesday night on the Geeks and Gamers Play, that's a blue logo. Mods will drop links. Actually, what I need to do is in my description, I just need to put all of the links to all of my YouTube channels. I have a ton. I have a lot of YouTube channels. I cover a lot of different stuff. But thank you for the 5 gifties. Appreciate that. Sean Living Life says, Libs of TikTok just said the FBI officially stated CCP interfered with the 2020 election, swayed it towards Biden. Kash Patel just tweeted as well. Really? Hold on. Thank you for that update. Let's see what we got here. Kash Patel tweeted that? Let's see here. Kash Patel. Whoa, okay. Whoa. The FBI has located documents which detail alarming allegations related to the 2020 U.S. election, including allegations of interference by the CCP. I have immediately declassified the material and turned the documents over to Chairman Grassley for further review. Whoa. Like I said, the truth will eventually start to come forward. 2020 needed to be dealt with. The only way you could fix 2020 was for President Trump to win in 2024. The future of this country literally hung in the balance of that. Like, absolutely. Without Trump winning in 2024, we would have never gotten to the truth of this. And I don't think we're still at the truth. Like, we still have a long ways to go. But correcting 2020 is crucial. Crucial. So that's good. That's good news. Thank you, Sean Living Life. I appreciate it. Black Kane says, happy birthday to Jessica Lindstrom, the big 5-0. Where's that? Okay. No new updates. What is this? Okay, these are all from hours ago. So I'm trying to see if there's any new information right now. Nothing new. Nothing. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're going to end it there. It's been a good stream. 3 hours in the books. I will be live tomorrow during the day before Tuesday night's main event. So we're going to have a lot. Now, I'm not saying I won't go live in the middle of the night. I'm not guaranteeing it, but President Trump is supposed to be back around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to meet with his national security team. I'm not saying that I will go live, but if something crazy happens, I could see myself going live in the middle of the night, but I doubt it. So we'll see. Look at Can Man. He's like, oh, no. So anyway, we'll see what happens. The Under Armour Gamer says, I don't hate it, but I physically can't use the Switch, and I was hoping the grips would be like Xbox ROG Ally with the handles. What do you mean? Why can't you? I mean, there's actual grips you can buy though. Like there's certain grips you can buy that gives it more of the handle feel as well though. But if you take them off and you put them on the little grip, you can still play with the controller as the screen is propped up. I mean, if there's anything I can help, just let me know. I can see if I can help you with it. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Really do appreciate it. Thank you for smashing the melee button. Thank you for the support. Great numbers as of late, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you. You guys have a good evening. I'll leave you with some Sabaton to close out the night. As we close out the night. So here we go. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. I'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.